Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How's everybody doing today? It's so great to see all your smiley faces. This is, of course, a fantastic broadcast that we created some 600 plus episodes ago as a way to entertain, connect with everybody around the world, bring some light, love, and levity, and of course, our famous levity. We're coming to you here from the greater New York area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We're actually between New York and Boston along the southern New England coast. That's where the home is for the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. We welcome all of you who are watching from literally all around the world, our international Lovity Squad, as you guys call yourselves, the JMS Lovity Squad. They are faithful, diehard, loyal Jim Masters Show watchers, lovers, supporters, ravers. They do it all. They subscribe to our YouTube channel. They tell everybody about it. They share the Lovity. And of course, they post the links and share the links to all of our fantastic episodes on all of their social media. And we love that. We thank you very much for doing that. We are at the time of this live show. Again, we come at you live, but we also archive and save all of these episodes on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We are literally just days away from St. Patrick's Day. And of course, a very important day and a beautiful day. And we are very excited because we've got special guests coming in right now, literally from New York City live. They just landed from Chicago literally moments ago. They're just dusting off. They have all their luggage and the dance bags and everything with them. But they are literally, this is so cool. They're not inside a studio. They're not inside a condo. They're not in an apartment, and they're not in a warehouse. They're actually at a beautiful restaurant right now, live outside. So that's really, really nice. The sun will be setting, and it's dusk right now. So they're going to join us. I'm talking about the Trinity Irish Dance Company. They are legendary. They are renowned. They are extraordinarily talented. And we have the founder and artistic director and choreographer, as well as the associate artistic director and co-choreographer, as well as principal dancer joining us. We have Mark Howard and Chesley, and they're surrounded by lots of the crew with them as well. And they're going to join us in just a second. We're so excited about it. But again, they are coming to perform. The reason why they're in New York City is because from the 15th through the 20th of March, they are going to be performing on stage at the phenomenal and legendary Joyce Theater. That's right. And we're very excited about that. So we're going to tell you about all of that in just a second. They're going to be joining us here live, coming to us from New York City. I do want to tell you that while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, that is the channel that you're watching right now, where we house all of these fantastic episodes. Give it a subscribe. The YouTube channel is Jim Masters TV. You can see all the great episodes with guests coming in from Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, comedy, sports, inspiration, and life in general. Celebrity friends, folks I've interviewed elsewhere are coming on the show, and just so much fun we have. Give it a subscribe, hit that red button, and also don't forget to click that notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Our Lovity Squad is commenting live right now. You can comment live in chat if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's a gift for our subscribers to Jim Masters TV, which is the YouTube channel. You have the opportunity to comment and chat live. We see your comments. The guests see your comments as well. Sometimes we post some of them publicly as well and share them live. And also, in addition to that, you can chat with each other, which I know you guys do. We've created such a wonderful community here at the Jim Masters Show Live, which has been truly sort of the icing on the cake of this great entertainment lifestyle talk show series, where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation, warm conversations, entertainment, poignant moments, surprise, crazy moments, and so much more. Let me show you something we have here. Again, they are incredibly talented, and we're so honored to have Mark and Chelsea here. Literally, I'm telling you, the group just landed, I think, at LaGuardia Airport, and then they rushed into Manhattan. They're eating dinner right now as they're chatting with us, which I think is really fantastic. And they're going to be performing in the city starting this week. Take a look at this, and then we'll welcome them to the show exclusively here on the Jim Masters Show Live. And there they are. There is Mark Howard, the founder, artistic director, choreographer, and Chesley Hoy, our associate artistic director, as well as co-choreographer and principal dancer of the extraordinary Trinity Irish Dance Company, coming to us live, not from an Irish restaurant. They're actually going French tonight. Welcome, guys. It's nice to have you here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Welcome, and thanks for joining us. I mean, it's a busy week. It's a busy time. You got lots of rehearsals, great shows coming up. You literally just landed from the Windy City, and we really, truly are honored to have you here, and we appreciate you coming in, you know, right after getting off an airplane. So cool to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Nice to be here.
Nice to be in the city for sure.
Yes, huh? So you're literally, you know, outside, dining outside. You're at a restaurant. Tell us about this fabulous location where you guys are.
We're at Lafayette.
Yeah, it's a French restaurant called Lafayette, right near the East Village. We have our artistic associates here. We just finished a lovely dinner. This is Allie Dowdy.
Hello.
And Lydia.
Hi.
Sydney.
Hi.
And Michael. We're sitting in this beautiful little chalet with the New York City above our heads. It just started snowing a little bit, but we hear it's supposed to be nice this week. So it's a wonderful welcome to the city, and we're so nice to see you.
That is so cool. You know what's really nice is the sun is setting behind you. The lighting on you is getting warmer, and it's really, the lighting is perfect for you guys right now. Thanks for coming in and joining us here. Big week, an exciting week. It's St. Patrick's Day, of course, all across the land. But you got some amazing shows that are coming up. Before we talk about that, we just showed that clip, and that's just a sampler. We've got lots more video to show of you guys in action. First, I wanted to step back a little bit because I would love for our audience to understand and really appreciate the early beginnings and your vision, Mark, of this incredible dance company. Now, there's two different entities. There's the school, and then there's the dance company. Tell us early on about your inspiration. I believe your mom and dad wanted you and is it your sister to take dance lessons, and that sort of maybe spurred a little of this on for you in Chicago?
Jim, that's interesting. He knows that I have a sister. Absolutely. It's all a big happy accident, honestly. Yes, our folks would have wanted us to rediscover their Celtic roots, and my sister was a far superior Irish dancer to myself. Later in my life, when I loved and lived and finally reached to the ripe old age of 19, somebody suggested that I teach Irish dancing. I could not have imagined that that would have been for me, but I fell in love with the process, that teacher-student relationship, and then later became more serious about it and tried to help kids win trophies, which was fun for the first half of my professional life, and then again, through happy accidents, backed into the performing arts, and it's been a beautiful life to live a life of an artist, basically, right? And
absolutely.
Miss Hoy comes along, and she's just a journalist recently on our tour called her the heir apparent. So I'm going to let her do most of the talking because apparently she's the heir apparent.
Yeah.
But you're still here.
Well, I wanted to mention, so there is a for-profit and then a non-profit, and there's the school, and then, of course, there's the dance company. Tell us a little bit about the foundations and creations and missions for each of those, Mark. It's fascinating.
Well, it just in Chicago, like New York, there's a bunch of Irish dancing schools. So the Trinity Academy of Irish Dance is just one dance school amongst many. But a handful of dance schools, in this country early on did well internationally at competitions, and we were blessed to be one of them. And that led to things like you were mentioning earlier, the Johnny Carson show. We did 3 of those, and then the year he retired, I created a dance named after him, which will be on the roster, on the program for the Joyce Theater. It's called Johnny. But that opened up a lot of avenues. The royal family in Monaco wanted an audience with us, a guru in India. And, this is like 1990, 1991. And I started to choreograph more for performance than competition. And we ended up doing just about every national television show and film work and things like that. And then there was an evolution. There was a formative moment there for a few years where I was watching Ballet Folklorico. I was watching Kodo Japanese drums. And the thought came about with mostly people in the Chicago and Milwaukee community saying, why don't you start a nonprofit performing arts company? You already have the repertoire. I didn't even know what that word meant. You could be the artistic director. I'm like, that's cool. That's a cool title. I was just a Yahoo from a blue collar neighborhood in Chicago, trying to not mess up my Irish dance steps and maybe meet girls at a Irish dance competition, But anyway, I had some ability for this, and I instinctively wanted to elevate the art form in the performing arts circuit. And for New Yorkers, you understand Paul Taylor and Palaboulos and Mark Morris, and I could go on, Alvin Ailey, and the Joyce Theater, is really like the high watermark for dance worldwide. This little 500 seat theater that you have in Chelsea is where everybody wants to perform, but nobody ever gets to. So it's a real honor to be presented now for the fourth time, really, by the Joyce. But there's been a second coming of this company. The first company was at the Joyce 3 times, but it's been 20 years since we've been here. I took a good decade off, but the company is a sort of idea whose idea has really come, and Chesley can talk to you more about the revitalized company and what that looks like. It doesn't really look like the former company, but all of this predates a lot of the commercial Irish dance shows that we now enjoy. And we are uniquely an Irish American kind of cool, contemporary, nonprofit performing arts company. It's really difficult to explain what we do because I was fighting stereotypes when I started the company, which was little leprechaun cardboard cutout things, and
the Lucky Charms guy. Yeah.
The little clay pipes and the Irish aphorisms, the Green River that I marched across the bridge as a child when I grew up dancing at the Dennehy Irish Dancers. And so I fought that stereotype with the Illinois Arts Council to get out of the ethnic category into, the same category as contemporary dance. But then when things like Lord of the Dance came about, there became a new stereotype, and there was like a new joke, with all the late night TV shows and all that. So now we are living in a different world, and I'm very proud that this company sees everything through a performing arts lens. We're a nonprofit. We're not driven by money. Dancers come from all over the world to be part of the company so they can elevate this art form and sort of save it from the circus or the sort of box that it's stuck in. So people need to understand that this company, when you come to see them, they're accessible, they're entertaining. You're going to see the origins of these commercial things, but they're also going to be, you're mentally challenged, pushed. Mentally challenged was the wrong way to say that. You're going to be pushed, cerebrally to expand your thoughts on the possibilities for this art form and the myriad of looks and sort of the potpourri of directions that this can go in, because Irish step dancing and Irish music is one of the most profound, two profound art forms that have unlimited possibilities, so we are more similar to like an independent filmmaker versus a Hollywood filmmaker. That's a way I like to explain the difference between this and when you see a commercial Irish dance production. So we're in the same wheelhouse as all of those contemporary we get support from the National Endowment for the Arts, the MacArthur Foundation, that type of thing. So
yes. Now couple of the things, like you mentioned, Lord of the Dance, and when Riverdance first came over and was created, that really, and with my years with working on PBS and supporting public television, giving that great exposure to a lot of the Irish culture, arts, music, flavor, flair. I mean, all of it. Celtic Woman, Celtic Thunder, the Irish tenors, just so there's such a wonderful love of everything Irish, and the Irish American community is very, very proud as well. So those seeing the incredible Irish step dance and you guys bringing in the progressive form really early on sort of piqued or created the initial interest in all of this, where people just couldn't get enough, and their shows would be, the river dances and all would be sold out. Same thing happens with you guys, the selling out of all of these shows, because it seems people just crave it. It's so special, it's so highly precision, and it's entertaining, and you have fun with the audiences. But those early the river dances and all that were the early exposures to the American audience, maybe the Canadian audience as well. Sort of tipped it a little bit, right? Got the ball rolling in a positive way, wouldn't you say?
It certainly did, and it's important to know that.
Wait. She wasn't even born yet. She's commenting on this.
I was born the year River Dance came out.
Well, they have Google. They
They
have Google now, so she could Google it all.
Okay.
Exactly.
I just want to know the heir apparent wasn't born yet.
It's important to know, though, that Mark's work and the idea of the Trinity Irish Dance Company, a very unique place that was out to celebrate Irish dancing as a performing art. So break outside of the competitive box and break outside of the traditional box. That all comes before Riverdance. So that starts in 1990 is when the Trinity Irish Dance Company was founded. So Riverdance hits the scene 5 years later and is really a commercial realization of one of the pieces that Mark had done. He mentioned it already. It's called Johnny, that was created for Johnny Carson's retirement and performed on the Johnny Carson show. So that classic Trinity Irish Dance Company piece is still included in our repertoire. And it's an important part of our history, but it's also a very important part of performance Irish dance history, because that is really the moment where Mark broke the floodgates wide open for Irish dancing to be seen in this new way. And of course, these shows, as you mentioned, then make Irish dance a phenomenon worldwide, which, yes, helped the demand for the Trinity Irish Dance Company at that time. But while it's all very entertaining, we do distinguish ourselves in many ways from a commercial Irish dance production.
Right. Yeah,
You know, I can put it this way: a lot of my neighbors back in Chicago have heard of 42nd Street. They've heard of, Broadway dance shows, but they've never heard of Alvin Ailey Dance Company.
Right.
So everybody's heard of the beautiful Riverdance show, but not everybody's heard of the Trinity Irish Dance Company. So you'll get that similar experience if you come out, a sense of profoundness. The virtuosity of the company members is wonderful, but it's the range of movement, it's the range of thoughts, and it's the sort of more highbrow approach to an art form. I mean, this is closer to Yeats and O'Casey than it would be to the Cranberries or U2. Put it that way.
Right. Absolutely.
But if you love Riverdance, you'll love this company, and you'll get a completely different thing from it, though. Thought-provoking stuff. Hopefully,
Absolutely. We mentioned Johnny Carson, which anytime anybody, and it's so widely known, as I mentioned to you guys beforehand, I work in television, radio, and have for years on the air. And there's just this legend that whenever Johnny likes something or liked something, and he would either call you over to that famous couch or just wanted to invite you back, it really was a feather in the cap. It was such appreciation because he was so beloved, and because the audiences on NBC watching The Tonight Show so huge at the time. For you, Mark, there we go. What was it like sitting in that chair with Johnny Carson, admiring and appreciating your talent, your vision, the dance company, Ed McMahon there? And you can tell when Johnny would put his hand up by his face, he was very enamored and he was really into the conversation. That had to be an extraordinary moment for you in your life and your career.
Well, it was, but I think I was a little too young to understand, all that was going on. I certainly felt I had a job to do, and that was to present Irish dancing in an integrity-filled way to a national audience. Johnny's an amazing professional. I can, inside story. My folks wanted to, they were born in the old country. They wanted to buy me a new suit, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to wear my suit. And
oh yeah, you're going on Johnny Carson. Yeah, new suit,
yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, it was really weird. It's hard for people like Chesley, who wasn't even born. Like, everybody watched this show every night, like in the entire country. So the viewership was frightening. And I'm just a Yahoo from Chicago, Irish dance teacher. But I was fine until his monologue, and you're sitting in a green room in Burbank, and there's a big old TV that looks like the one your grandparents had, and you start to realize his monologue's going out to, like, I have no idea how many millions of people. So my palms started to sweat a bit. And so the segment producer said, well, let me introduce you to the other guest, which was Oprah Winfrey. And that didn't help me at all. And I had actually met Johnny prior to the broadcast because I was a little nervous. And when he asked me why I was nervous, I said, well, the only television I've ever done was Bozo Circus in Chicago.
Yes.
And now we're on the Tonight Show.
Now you're on the Tonight Show.
And then when I walked out from that curtain, I didn't tell people the real story for a year or two. I just had fun with it. But he kind of whispers in my ear, and then I kind of laugh and I sit down. It's like we're old friends or something, or we just golf together. And I don't even know how to golf. But he just said, Bozo, this show, it's the same thing. And he was a very professional guy. He just kind of, his hand led you into the chair, and he just made you look good, So I could have been a babbling idiot, but the professionalism of Mr. Carson made that all happen. And also, his interest in, what I was doing, really, it was more that he launched through booking us. He made like Riverdance possible, and his segment producer, or I should say his producer, Jim McCauley, sort of had discovered like Steve Martin and Roseanne Barr and whatever, and he would go out and have drinks with us after the show, because we did it like for 3 years in a row. And there's only one Irish bar, by the way, in LA, which was really funny. We'd stay there and wait until 11:30 at night when the show would come on. But one year he was saying, you guys are like a feather in my cap. Like, next week I'm going to have this thing called, I forget what it's called, but it's an Andrew Lloyd Webber production, with like roller skates. What's that called?
I know what you're talking. Yeah,
he was building like ramps out in the audience so they could roller skate.
Right.
And my drummer turned to me and he goes, he's comparing us to Andrew Lloyd Webber. So what I want to say to you is that Jim McCauley and the Tonight Show saw Riverdance. They saw the commercial, possibilities for this thing. Yeah. I want to be very clear. I did not see any of that possibility, in it. I was just a guy trying to elevate the thing and do it on the performing arts circuit. And today I'm still just a guy trying to be on the performing arts circuit, elevating an art form, and I love it. But that was fun. That was a good time when you get recognized in a blockbuster for being on a TV show.
You also developed a wonderful friendship with, or he just really appreciated what you were doing, and we talked about it before we went live on the air. And that's another, broadcast legend and host, Regis Philbin. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Regis. Well, also another kind of Irish American, Conan. I'll tell you about Regis first, but no, Regis is wonderful. And Kathy Lee Gifford. So my little dancers in my dance school, pre-dance company, performed, and partly after the company started with them. I think we did 4, 5, 6 of those. So wonderful gentlemen. But Conan O'Brien, they came into Chicago and just wanted to learn a step of the Irish jig. And I was a fan of Conan, and I watched his little vignettes where he goes into like, I don't know, old time baseball or a California vineyard. So I pitched that, and they bid on it. They came to Chicago and did a bunch of stuff at the Irish American Heritage Center there, and went really well. And that's become one of the, little segments that he does that has the most legs. A big part of that bit was talking about potato chips, and the Irish Heritage Center in Chicago started getting orders from China to buy potato chips.
Yes.
Just a lot of fun stuff like that. That's been a pleasure to be part of this those moments.
How do you guys describe progressive Irish step dance for people who are watching and who are enjoying this live right now, or they watch this later in the archives on our YouTube channel, and they're sort of learning along the way as we're chatting? How do you describe what the Trinity Irish Dance Company does, what they present, and what progressive Irish step dance really is?
Maybe you want to answer that, Chelsea. Progressive Irish dance is kind of an old term that was the best I could come up with to kind of describe what I was doing at the time in the late 80s, but now the term doesn't make as much sense. But for sure, this company created its own vocabulary back then, ushered in a whole, a jump from the competitive Irish dance stage to the concert stage. But Chelsea could probably answer better what it is uniquely that the Trinity Irish Dance Company does.
We're, as you mentioned earlier, we're a mission-driven organization. So that mission is multi-layered, but at the heart of that mission is to evolve and to elevate the traditional form of Irish dance. And we aim to do that in an integrity-filled way. So unfortunately, through some of these commercial productions, some of the integrity of those rich traditions of Irish dance, which is of course at the heart of Irish culture, have been lost and kind of taken over by the big curly wigs or the tanner in the competitive scene, or in some of the commercial scene. Some of the commercial shows have become more of a Vegas-y show where the women are relegated to the back line with a male savior out front. They're not even wearing Irish dance shoes. They're in heels. They all look a certain way with a certain body type and are slotted into a chorus line. So the Trinity Irish Dance Company is very unique in the way that we're an ensemble repertoire company that is driven to really save the integrity of Irish dance and make sure that it's celebrated as an art form, not just simply as entertainment, is a great way that Mark describes it all the time.
Yeah, we're not very entertaining. Also, I didn't tell you that.
No, I was going to say, of course.
We have a general disdain for entertainment or any fun or anything like that.
Well, I don't know about all of that. You guys really light things up when you do your thing. And we have some evidence of that, which we are going to show the audience right now. This is Souls by Mark Howard. We're going to show it, and then we'll talk about it in just a second. Our very special guest, live and direct from New York City, literally maybe an hour ago by way of Chicago, here on the Jim Master Show Live, Mark Howard, Chesley Hoy of the Trinity Irish Dance Company. This is Souls by Mark Howard. Take a look and see if you think they are really good at entertaining. I think you're going to say yes. That's just a little snippet, I tell you. Tell us about how you find the dancers and what it's like. I mean, I would imagine it's so precision. And just in watching, I've been very familiar with your work, and honor and applaud you guys for the level that you really the amount of time and blood, sweat, and tears you put into doing exactly what you just said, Chelsey. Really stay true to form, to the dance, to the culture, to not the commercialization of it all with the frills, but provide it in a way that is raw and authentic, organic and real, and stay true to form while it is still entertaining and fun and has warmth, weaved in as well. Tell us about how you find, those who participate, the dancers as well, and what it's like putting a show together, because it is so much precision, and a lot of hours go into these productions.
Yeah, our dancers, as Mark said earlier, come from all over the country, and we get auditions from all over the world. Our most recent dancer is from Puebla, Mexico, and Mark's movement, progressive Irish dance, has really started to attract people to move to Chicago to study this movement and to be a part of this mission and a part of the work. So the dancers themselves, we don't just look for excellent technical Irish dancers. What we look for, and what's even more important to us, is who these people are as human beings, who they are as people. We look for people who are looking to elevate their communities, and people who deeply care about not just the form and the whole reason the Trinity Irish Dance Company exists, but who also care about taking care of the people around them, whether that's the tech crew when we walk into a theater, or the dancer next to them on stage, or the person in the front row that they're going to connect with during the show.
So when people attend a show that's put on by the Trinity Irish Dance Company, what are some of the things you hope they get out of it, and what can they expect from that experience? It isn't just watching precision expert dancers and the work of brilliant choreographers like yourselves, and just the artistry of it all, but there is a connection that's made. There's an experience that oftentimes goes beyond just what they're visualizing on stage. What is it that you guys hope people leave with when they come to see one of your incredibly well-crafted performances?
Well, I would say that, like, we're the Trinity Irish Dance Company is a group of artists that are connectors, and we're here to elevate, every room that they walk into, hopefully. And when you walk into a theater to see the Trinity Irish Dance Company, you really don't know what's going to happen, because there's such a broad range of repertoire that we have, and at any given moment we're doing different dances. And whatever side of the political spectrum you're on, or whatever your religious beliefs are, when you're all collectively there in a theater watching the company, and our production crew are saying 10, 9, 8, 7, and when that curtain comes up, everything else melts away. And this company is, and I'm now speaking of the artists in the company. We have a live band, 4 musicians. Brendan O'Shea, who's a New Yorker here from Killarney for the last 25 years. Jake James, a very young, prodigy fiddle player from Queens, New York, I believe. Is he from Queens? Anything is possible, really. And the company is about honest rhythms and about authenticity, and they have vulnerabilities. And when they reach out to kind of break that fourth wall with the audience, to the collective audience's hand, the audience grabs it. And when they do, the company can take them anywhere. So my hope is that people are transported to a different place multiple times in one evening through each one of these pieces. Each one of these dances is like a painting or a vignette, if you will, and a different look at a tradition, and the endless possibilities for where that can go. I like to think that our ancestors, if they could come back, that they would be very proud of a Chesley Hoy or of a Trinity Irish Dance Company in terms of perpetuating an art form in an integrity-filled way, to use Chesley's words, to make sure, again, in Chesley's words, that it's an art form that doesn't simply entertain, but also matters as a
Right.
gorgeous, gorgeous art form. It's this marriage between music that is every bit as potent as blues music, around the world. I'm speaking of Celtic music and its interplay with the dance. And
Yeah.
our band are intertwined with the company. Like, I just refer to them as company members. Um, we were just in Chicago a few weeks ago, and a very noted PR person who has the Blue Man Group account and all these like
Oh,
immersive
yeah, sure.
artists, like things she's touring off. She came up and said, "Mark, why is that band not on the poster, or why isn't it like the band also with the Trinity Dance Company?" I'm kidding, but like,
Yeah.
if folks come out to the Joyce Theater to see this, I think when they bow, the band gets the biggest ovation of all. They're just incredible artists and very good people. But
Even some horns blow too.
I just mentioned that PR. This is a really good way to tie this together. I just mentioned this person's name is Carol Fox. It's Carol Fox and Associates,
Sure.
Chicago. She came out of the contemporary dance world in Chicago, and when I was just cutting my teeth on all this performing arts stuff, she was our PR rep, and she came up with a tagline that is the best way to describe this company even today. And it is Trinity Irish Dance Company. It's everything you'd expect, but like nothing you'd imagine. And I think that pretty much sums up what it is.
How has it evolved too, from when you first created it and what your vision was, Mark, to what it is today? If somebody saw them years ago and now they're going to go see it in the new year, uh, how would it have differed? What are some of the changes and tweaks or anything that's come along the way from your perspective as the founder and the visionary initially?
I think scratching your way to the middle, mediocrity that led to the crap, which was like our own crap, but at least it's our own crap, to somewhat decent, to really good, to, maybe profound or thought provoking.
You should be the warm-up guy that comes out on stage before the dancers too. It would be fantastic.
I think
does not suck, anymore. Like,
I think the whole essence of the Trinity Irish Dance Company is that this traditional form is supposed to evolve. So of course the vision has remained the same, but the work and the execution of that vision has evolved over time, and it's evolved with new artists. I think the current company is very fresh. There's a fresh feel to it, but that's to be expected for something that if we're preaching that it's continuing to evolve. Progressive Irish dance, which is the term coined to name this genre that Mark created. There are no rules for it. Its whole point in life is to grow and expand with every new artist that we interact with, every new dancer that comes into this company. So we've just been, Mark has just been open to seeing how that evolution will go with time.
I can say that the company is more of an ethos than anything. It's a movement. It's a group of artists that are doing things that they would like to see if they were in the audience, and that always works out well for us. I'm very excited to tell you that, like, if we were a rock band, we've really loved our last 5 albums. Like, we always liked the last album, and that's when you're riding that kind of a wave. It's interesting, and I'm sort of jinxing myself by saying this, but we're always most excited about the last piece in the last 5 or 6 years. Wouldn't you say? So it's about the wonder of it all and where it can all go, and taking like a decade off really more leads to realizing what you don't want to do, and we all experience that, right? What relationships we don't want to be in, or what kind of job we don't want to be part of. It kind of helps you sculpt backwards to what is the essence of what you do want to do. And I can't really explain what makes something Trinity-esque, or what, Chelsea, in an interview just recently, you were talking about a taste level that really I'm trying to teach all of them a taste level of, but I can't figure out why that works and that doesn't work. I just know when something becomes what it wants to be, I sort of know when it's arrived. And that's kind of what Chesley Hoy, who is now a co-choreographer, is realizing. And these other associates, some of them are very young, but Michael Fleck here to our right is really, really evolved. So I'm here to like create this forum as does the board of directors of the Trinity Irish Dance Company. It's really a forum for creativity for Irish dancers worldwide to be part of something that's not driven by money, but it's driven by vision and by what is possible. It's thrilling in that sense, you know.
Absolutely. Chelsea, how did you come to be involved in the Trinity Irish Dance Company? How did that happen for you? And tell us a little bit about your previous background prior to joining the team.
So I grew up in Denver, Colorado. I started Irish dancing when I was 4 years old. My older sister was an Irish dancer, so I followed in her footsteps. But I quickly learned that I didn't really want someone to tell me how to dance. And my favorite part of class was the water break. So my mom had me take a break for a little bit, but I did rejoin, thankfully, at the age of 6. So I grew up competitively Irish dancing in Denver, Colorado at the Wick School of Irish Dance.
I was going to say, you had a great teacher that you revere, like,
yeah. Right? Lynn Wick of the Wick School. She's where my backbeat comes from, for sure. That's kind of our claim to fame.
And I think she's very connected to New York, right? Like Donnie Golden here in New York would have been, I don't know what the connection is, but that backbeat is very much a New York backbeat that comes out of Donnie.
Yeah, so then when I was 8 years old, my aunt drove my sister and I through a snowstorm in Colorado to see the Trinity Irish Dance Company do a performance in Beaver Creek. And I remember so much about that performance. I mostly remember the way it made me feel, and I remember the strong women, which is a big part of what we do and a big part of what an audience member will feel in a live performance. I got to meet some of the dancers backstage after the show. I got my Trinity Irish Dance Company shirt. I got my Trinity Irish Dance Company DVD. I used to watch and fast forward through the guy that was talking that I later learned was this one.
Was the founder.
So I could get to the dancing. But I moved to Chicago and joined the company, went on my first tour of Japan, became very quickly embedded inside of the creative process of multiple new works and started learning the possibilities for where this could go. And that was really at the beginnings of the second coming of the Trinity Irish Dance Company. So there's a nucleus of dancers, myself included, that have really built on the legacy that was there, but brought it back. We like to say it's the second life of the Trinity Irish Dance Company. I'm
going to throw out a proud thing here. So Chesley Hoy, the University of Chicago, sort of wanted her, and she didn't like the vibe. So she went to a Jesuit university, but she's an art student at the time, now an artist, a painter, drawer, photographer, math minor, psychology major. She could work at NASA, or she could be the heir apparent of the Trinity Irish Dance Company. And this is something that I do look for, is very highly intelligent people that can help people in the community through our outreach programming. Allie Dowdy, that was on the camera earlier, was the 2014 or 15 solo world champion out of Philadelphia, but she just graduated Northwestern University with a doctorate in physical therapy. Lydia, that was back there, one of our younger company members, she's going to med school. Sydney is going to be a zoologist. Is it a zoologist? Michael Fleck just graduated and is an architect. So we're not looking for any kind of. We're looking for Irish dance skills, because there's auditions, by the way, coming up in New York, 3 different auditions. We're looking for game changers, people that can change the world through this nonprofit company and elevate the game. And I'm very proud of their abilities. And there's a piece that will be performed. It's a New York premiere called The Circus, on Circus, which is Gaelic for the circus. Right. And I'm proud to say that Chesley Hoy was a co-choreographer. And I've never co-choreographed with somebody in the Irish dancing world. I've pulled movement from very smart people, but I've never officially literally choreographed something. I've worked with contemporary dance people and co-choreographed with them, or had invited guests choreograph on the company, like Michelle Dorrance, who's a worldwide, sensation as a tap dancer and a New Yorker. And that's another New York premiere. Or, I'm trying to think of Sean Curran, who's the head of New York University's dance department now, He's a beautiful guy, Irish American out of Boston, like a renowned contemporary choreographer and dancer from Bill T. Jones, and then later his own Sean Curran company. But yeah, these guys are what's next in Irish dancing for sure. They're not stuck in a box. They're not following a recipe. They're dangerous. They're bold, and they do have a taste level. And they're not finished learning yet, but they're pretty incredible.
Want to show another example of the experts at work. We're so honored to have Mark Howard and Chesley Hoy and the team on the other side of the camera there enjoying their wonderful French cuisine as we celebrate everything Irish here on the Jim Master Show live on this episode with the comparable Trinity Irish Dance Company. We're here with the founder, artistic director, choreographer, as well as a associate artistic director, co-choreographer, and principal dancer, Chesley Hoy. They've literally just landed. Their luggage is with them, their dance equipment's with them, and this is one of the first things they're doing, other than maybe checking into the hotel, is joining us here on the Jim Master Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. We're so honored by that. Here is, by Mark Howard, A New Dawn.
Oh, wow. So I got to say,
Dawn,
you pulled that off the internet. We don't actually even do that really anymore. We have a new thing that we do that's got elements of that mixed in with some like solo work. But I got to say, you just had me say I've never collaborated with an Irish dance person. That was co-choreographed by a brilliant man named Richard Griffin, who's in London, and it was created for competitive Irish dance reasons. And he's one of those people that's a genius that like I learned so much from, and one of those people in traditional Irish dance or an Irish dance competition that has an incredible generosity of spirit. So I know Richard Griffin's probably not watching this, but Richard Griffin had a huge impact.
Everybody watches the Jim Master Show live. Did you get that memo? Didn't Anita send you that memo?
Yeah,
She did say a lot of people watch it. Yeah. I think it's also important to note that we really describe ourselves as a percussive company.
Yes.
So the Dawn, or what we're doing now, A New Dawn, is one of the rare moments where we show off the virtuosic soft shoe skills, all of that acrobatic aerial movement. We do not wear wigs anymore, so that is a bit of an older video. We have dropped the wigs and gone for the definitely natural look. The wigs in Irish dancing are a little bit part of that, as I was saying, the circus that Irish dancing has somewhat
cool, because it shows like the progression. That was an earlier take on you could see the progression of the company. We actually have another one here that is very, very cool as well. Now this one is Push. Tell us about this one, guys.
So Push is a piece that gets across a very important part of our mission in the most poignant way. Our whole performance and our whole point in life celebrates males and females on equal footing, and as we like to say, women who bring the thunder. So in Irish dancing, that's pretty rare to see women laying down the thunder in this really hard driving percussive way. Push is a piece that celebrates this virtuosic skill. The video, I'm not sure which one you have, probably has 4 dancers. We're now performing it with 6. It's one of those pieces that we're trying to one-up each other in a very fun and friendly way, and it's really the highest level of virtuosic percussion, both in speed and in technical ability.
Yeah, Jim, you might want to talk about the empowerment of women that goes on in this company, because that's a thing that
You
people
know, you're a mind reader. You are a mind reader, Mark. That's exactly what I was talking about. Not just because of obviously the times we're in now, but it's really extraordinary and it's so essential and so important and so beautiful to see that happening and to see that rise. Now, Mark, you've been, doing this for a long time. Tell us about the importance of it and how beautiful and brilliant it really is, isn't it?
What are we speaking of? The
Exactly what you just said, the empowerment and the involvement and the appreciation of women being a part of it. And like Chelsea was saying earlier, years ago, they'd be more towards the back and not necessarily in the forefront or have a voice or necessarily be celebrated. But now that has changed dramatically in a very positive and beautiful way.
well, it didn't. It didn't really change. I mean, like when the company started in 1990, I mean, mostly what I had to work with were women, and I never saw a difference, just probably because of the way I was raised, like between men and women and their abilities to do things. I mean, in competitive Irish dance, I'm not going to give you a real figure, but it's probably 90% women, and when they go try to win these trophies, it is so much easier to win one of those trophies, a world title, for instance, if you're a male. Like the women, like in many other aspects of life, are really holding up the whole thing. So it's kind of ridiculous that the women are
Exactly.
out in front to begin with. So
Right.
some of that stuff, like Lord of the Dance, is all built around one person, and it's all it's all silly type stuff. I mean, in the real world, women, I don't even. I'm just lost in this. Chelsea gets annoyed with me because I say that's all a big happy accident. I had no plan to make this be a female company or
Right.
focus on the empowerment of females. But I can tell you that the males in the company were always like the cufflinks. The males were the eye candy. The women were out front laying down the thunder from the get go. But Chelsea can speak more to it. She's kind of helped retool the company, the
Exactly.
messaging of the company for the times that we live in. But it's always been the same, really.
Right. That's beautifully said, Mark. And Chelsea, you want to add to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I mentioned with the women in the back line, that's something that you see in a commercial production. And that's only, I mean, Lord of the Dance really literally does the strip jig where women are stripping their clothes off. That's the name of a dance that they do. So that is something that the Trinity Irish Dance Company not only doesn't do, but really stands against. And personally, it's something I'm very passionate about, making sure that there's strong role models on stage for little girls and boys, little kids, to look up and see who they can become and look up and know that they can do whatever they want. So I think part of the evolution, definitely inside of the Trinity Irish Dance Company, while the strong women have always been there definitely is a push for gender neutrality within our pieces. So souls that you saw earlier, the two male dancers that we have, we're all wearing the same costuming. We're all doing the same movement. There's not a separation on the actual stage between the male dancers and the female dancers, but it is an emphasis for us to celebrate the strength and the percussive power. And it's something that an audience member can't walk away not feeling empowered. You asked what we hope an audience to feel. I would say empowered. As a dancer myself on stage, I get to feel what that feels like. And I know that translates through the noise that we're making through the curtain and into those seats.
I don't want to. I definitely
That's
want
beautifully
to.
said. That's beautifully said. Yeah.
This definitely is a female company. It always has been a female company. That's rare. Michael Fleck just recently was named an artistic associate and had a huge laugh over it. He said, in 30 years, I'm the first male artistic associate, which is saying something about the organization. It's just appropriate. It's, these other things are just like silly, it's just truthful,
Right.
company. And all those little girls out there that get on those fesh stages and win the medals and lead to the next thing, for them to go to the highest level, to the world championships, and all the glam and glitz is all about male dancers and them being
Yeah.
lucky enough to get tarted up and, have the push-up bra and get in the back row. And
Right.
then the parents are also proud, the people that own a farm in Ireland are from Cincinnati, and like, yay, my kid is dressing inappropriately at age 18 on stage. It's like nobody's proud of this stuff, and nobody wants to come forward and just say, stop.
Right.
So the Trinity Irish Dance Company is here to correct those wrong-headed messages that are being sent out from all parts of society about women's roles in society. So
Yeah.
enough.
Right. Fantastic. I mean, and the reason why I say this is because I think it's brilliant. I think it's beautiful. I think people are craving this. People are not finding that message everywhere. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. And the fact that here you guys are, all these years, all these, the decades have gone by, and still it's true to form. It's authentic. It's empowering. It has entertainment. And you're still doing your thing, and you've brought in some new blood, and it's always freshened. You have the empowerment. There's a lot of different cool things that are happening all at once. It isn't just go to see these incredible dancers do their thing and then you go home. There's so many different aspects to it that are authentic and empowering and invigorating and inspiring and entertaining. And it's all packaged together beautifully, not commercially, but authentically. And that's a resounding message that you guys are circling back to multiple times, which I think is coming through clear to our audience. The lovelies are commenting throughout the world very glowingly. And I think it's fantastic. So if folks have enjoyed some of those other entities and those other things that are out there that they've experienced, this is something that has been around for a while, is true to form, but is also fresh and authentic and really speaks true to the spirit of the art form, the culture, of, the expertise of the teams such as yourself, and the hours that are put in, the blood, sweat, and tears. And I think that's refreshing to hear. That's just my take, but who am I? Just the host.
Well, say I'm a member of the Irish Dance Commission. I love the Irish Dance Commission. My previous professional life was coaching kids to try to win trophies. The last 20 years has been the performing arts. But, at times you get the sense that they would like us to believe that money and these Irish dance shows, that money drives Irish dance. Irish dance is not driven by money. It's driven by passion. It's driven by ideas. It's driven by, innovation. It's driven by the limits, the limitless imagination of children. So, I mean, we're here to hopefully be joined by many people to take it back, from the lunatic fringe that it's turned into, and the cliche, the sort of weird stereotype it's become.
Right.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So Trinity Irish Dance Company is here to be the king saying, the king's code is weird. The king's code is weird. And
yes, exactly. And that's the message, gang, that we are pushing, which beautifully, Mark, a beautiful segue to push, which we're going to show right now. Here it is, gang. It's easy to see why you guys sell out. I mean, it's really extraordinary stuff. And we're just showing little snippets. Everybody's got to go to the Joyce Theater in New York City, or just go online to the website and look for the city near you where they are performing. It's a do not miss experience. Did you want to say anything about what we just saw, gang?
I was kind of blown away by that. I haven't seen that in a long time. So the piece was choreographed. When was that from? Like 6 years ago?
That was 2016.
So like, it's funny that we were talking about female empowerment, and then we see Michael Gardner opening up that piece. Michael Gardner is now, his brother and he are like worldwide sensations on TikTok. The Gardner brothers, and such a lovely guy. And he was on a tour of Japan with us at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to do a shout out to, there's a guy that I worked with on that piece that fed me like rhythms and stuff, and brilliant guy that's a New Yorker, kind of, Andrew Vickers, where he teaches dancing somewhere near New York. He's from Ireland, but Andrew Vickers. But that piece has evolved quite a bit, but absolutely, when I come to think of it, that ushered in a whole different way for the way females dressed, aggressively, like strong, intentional costuming that isn't they're not showing off cleavage or whatever. It's like these are athletes, these are strong people that do very acrobatic things, and we are at the company, we feel we can let the art form stand for itself, and we don't need fire, we don't need explosions, or any kind of tomfoolery stuff. And by the way we're talking, we're doing a lot of conversation now about the difference between commercial and performing arts lens. I want to be clear, I'm a guy who loves to go home sometimes and watch a good movie that has explosions and like whatever, when I'm trying to relax. I love Riverdance. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's just an apples to oranges thing. There's more to this than just the rows of dancers going clackety clack, doing camera movement left and right with, how did you put it, a male savior out front? I mean, that's just a recipe, but truthfully, Jim, if you asked me to do a commercial show, I'd probably do the recipe, and pre-record the tap, because that's what you have to do in those big arenas. So we don't have any criticism for the commercial world at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're here to just say there's another thing. For this to last through generations, for trad music and trad Irish dancing to evolve, you have to be doing it in a forum where money isn't driving it, and it's there for art's sake, and every art form needs to live and breathe and move. And I'll just say this, because of the show that you have and the guests that you have, I'd like to say that for me as a choreographer, when you just jam two ideas together, that doesn't innately make it be some sort of progression. I remember years ago, Irish musicians in Chicago introducing me as a young guy to like Planksty and like the Bothy band. And I remember both of those bands started playing a Greek instrument called a bouzouki.
Oh, bouzouki, yes.
The bouzouki kind of found its way into multiple Irish bands.
It's incredible.
Years later, somebody developed an Irish bouzouki.
Right.
And here's a moment where you have to stop and say, okay, now something significant culturally happened. Some sort of cross-pollination that's relevant happened here. That's progress. So in the Trinity Irish Dance Company, we take modern pedestrian movement, we try different ideas to progress an art form, but again, in an integrity-filled way, in a way that hopefully matters artistically, as opposed to simply being there to sell tickets, And again, right. I'm not quite sure we're entertaining. I'm going to warn your audience, Jim, come at your own risk to be entertained by this. Maybe it's self-indulgent, a bunch of, heady stuff from this idiot in Chicago. I don't know.
No.
Don't trust me. Don't come because I tell you. But anyway, I just know that Irish people can be very understated. They don't really enjoy always something too flashy. You know what I mean? That whole, and I think that in many ways, there's dance critics that said this company is more Irish than the Irish themselves. We're the peasant Irish. We don't have any money. we have our music, and we've got our,
and make the best mashed potatoes. We make the best mashed potatoes.
Our dancers, our tech writer says mashed potatoes, there's no fruit or strawberries, chocolate cake, mashed potatoes, strong girls.
Some Baileys once in a while too. I just want to show you. I know you're so humble, Mark and Chelsea, but Maureen in Arizona says that absolutely blew me away. Anne, who's watching in the Jacksonville, Florida area, says, wow, awesome. Sherry Larson in Kansas, USA says, wow. I mean, these comments that are coming in are fantastic. Linda, and they've been coming in throughout the broadcast. These are our lovely squad and others watching internationally. Linda is in Florida. She's in the St. Augustine area. She says, that is truly amazing for what you do for the dancers, Mark and Chelsea. Merlin, watching in Ontario, Canada, says, bringing joy into our world. Maureen says, that's just amazing. If I tried that, I'd trip myself. Jen Barry, Allentown, Pennsylvania, says, magical slancha. Linda says, I wish I had their energy. LOL, they were amazing. Merlin is saying, fantastic. Anne is saying, fantastic, amazing, such energy as well. And some more coming in here. Thanks for all these great comments. I tell you, you guys are fantastic. Smiles coming in from Merlin. These, again, just some of our regular lovelies coming in here. Nikki says hello. She's on the West Coast. Lovely gang all. And she's slipping in late, but she's glad to be here. And just all these great comments. So, you know, I tell you, you're very humble, Mark, but you've created something that is extraordinary and has really stood the test of time and stayed true to form. And my question for you is, the parents that sent you and your sister to those lessons, have they had a chance to see all of this come to fruition and experience the success in their proud parental way for what you've done here, Mark?
Well, for sure, and thank you for being the first person that's ever called me humble. That's, but I have incredible parents. I lost my dad 8 years ago. He's from Portleash, Ireland. My mother's born of a large family out of Clonmel, but she was the baby and born in Yorkshire, England, which is where they had me. And we came over when I was 2 years old. But I think for my father, the biggest thing was when I was coaching Irish step dancing and I coached a team to win the world title. Like, that was a big moment for him.
Yes.
And, you know, of course, they were very excited about things like the Johnny Carson show. I think my dad was a little confused when I said I wanted to be a performing artist and, you know, stop trading on all these world title things. And, but later he did get to see the company and fell in love with it. And my mother will be here, you know, tomorrow. She's landing in New York and, you know, the biggest fan, as you can imagine. I would say, though, also, something popped in my head that, you know, this week we have 2 dancers that'll be in the performance that routinely tour with Riverdance. Again, we normally don't talk so much about commercial Irish dance shows and the company and the juxtaposition, but there is higher ground to be had for your audience to know that, you know, artistically, and just different variations on how this can be applied. So everybody gets to see wonderful Irish dancers working alongside a band like Gaelic Storm or the Chieftains, right? And they get to see beautiful things like Riverdance or commercial Irish dance productions. But Trinity Irish Dance Company it's kind of like they're not only the best at what they do, they're the only ones that do like what they do.
Right.
I think part of that is because it's a bit of a starving artist, you know, nonprofit thing. Like, it'd be crazy enough to do what like Chelsea and I are doing and these other associates. But we're kind of like a garage band of, you know, 25 artists that love what we do. And when you said earlier, how do we attract new members? It's pretty organic. They more find me, you know what I mean, than I look for them. We do have videos coming from all over the world and auditions, but to be a Trinity Irish Dance Company member is a unique thing, you know, a unique approach. You have to be a little crazy to want to do it. And I was laughing earlier. The World Irish Dance Championships invited us a few years ago to perform at the competition when it was in America. I remember Chelsea being on the phone saying, "Are you sure?" And the woman was like, "Well, yeah." Like, "Are you sure?" Because we're like the punk rockers of like, like we don't like we wear like black socks instead of the white poodle socks. We're, you know what I mean? Like we're, you know, these are high powered athletes that are strong and they don't. I don't know. I'm just going to stop talking. But
no, it's great. It's true. I know what you mean.
When I say it's an idea whose time has come, the rest of the stuff is the bubble's gonna pop. You know, there's only so much people can take, and parents in Irish dancing spend so much money on these costumes that they wear, and none of them really want to put tan around their legs, or it's just become a cartoon of itself.
Yeah.
And we're here to say, knock it off and move forward, but always look to the past and kind of respectfully honor the ancestors and the essence of what this is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And progress it in a way that the Irish bouzouki came along, where there's some significant, new vocabulary, new movement, cross-pollination, and time that leads to cool new stuff,
Absolutely.
But
yes.
Yeah.
We have another wonderful video here we want to slip in. It's communion. Did you want to tell us about this one, gang?
Well, everybody always thinks it's called communion because, like, I grew up Irish Catholic, and most of us are probably Irish Catholics. Not so much. I was looking in a thesaurus for, connection and other words, and I saw the word communion. I'm like, well, why not? Even the word Trinity has got such religious, symbolism, but
actually,
really,
somebody asked that question. You just reminded me. Yeah. How did you come up with the name Trinity Irish Dance Company?
Well, obviously, first it was for a dance school that I still own to this day. But I used to draw a lot, and I just being a guy, you know what I mean, like that's playing sports or whatever back in the 70s and the 80s, I had this goofy idea that I was going to create like a patch or like a logo for my Irish dancers. So I drew a shamrock and, cut the leaves up into different green colors, and then put a Celtic cross in the middle of it, and thought that would be a cool logo. And then thought of the, St. Patrick's and the Father and Son and the Holy Ghost, and came up with the word Trinity. Everybody back then called their school the Murphy School, or the, the Hoy School, or the Jim, what's your last name? The Masters Irish Dance Academy.
So and my father's side, you mentioned Yorkshire. My father's mother their family came from Ireland. They settled in New York City. And then the Masters side, they're English and came from Yorkshire. Are we cousins, Mark? Do you like Yorkshire? Do you like pudding? I love pudding.
Do I look like somebody that rejects pudding? But I was going to say that
you're
Trinity,
the guest.
that Trinity name was kind of it was unusual to name your dance school anything other than the Howard Irish Dancers, put it that way. So it's been a great name all through that journey. But the dance company itself, which literally has nothing to do with the school, it just carries the same name, and some of the same energy, I would say. But that's his question was about Trinity, where the word Trinity comes from.
Trinity, yes, yeah.
But communion is, years ago I did body percussion with Irish step dancing and all that in a flashier sort of way. I mean, we're going back to like the early 90s. But there's a great body percussionist, French Canadian, Sandy Silva, that I'd seen perform with Les Boutons. Is that the name of I don't know how to pronounce the band. We perform my school in Milwaukee is at Irish Fest every year, the world's biggest Irish festival.
Oh, yes.
I see this French Canadian group, and she was wonderful. So we just studied the vocabulary with her and worked with her and came up with something that for me needed to be about connection and not really something that's necessarily Celtic, something that would represent any culture, that is timeless. It's 12 women barefoot, washing clothes down by a river, singing a cultural song, and there's way more to it that Chesley could probably delve into. But I think audiences enjoy that sort of the quiet stuff that we do juxtaposed with the noisy stuff. And in Japan, they really love our, what they call going from a whisper to a scream, the understatedness. Communion on video really doesn't play well, but when you're in the theater and you see communion, we always often have people weep after they experience the piece. It's very hypnotic, I would say, and definitely an instant classic, when it was finished. So,
Chesley, I wanted to ask you, Mark created this. This is his vision, and has been going at it and working hard and perfecting it all the way along. How does it How do you feel being a part of the Trinity Irish Dance Company as, I mean, not only a principal dancer, so we get to see you do your thing, but also choreographer, associate artistic director, being involved in the creations of these shows alongside Mark is a beautiful thing. As somebody who loves what she does, is passionate, who's very serious about it, who pays great homage and honor to it, how does it feel for you to be a part of such a spectacular company?
As you're thinking about that, could I tell them something really quickly?
Sure.
I imagine Chelsea is like a little uncomfortable when and it makes total sense why you're referring to her as a principal dancer, because she's currently the most visible company member, because she's the associate artistic director and a huge force of nature on stage for sure. But we don't have any principal dancers, which is the model for commercial Irish dance stuff and ballet companies. All of our dancers are on equal footing. The youngest, the oldest, even myself. As part of this organization, I have a different job than the youngest dancer in the company, but I'm not more important than that dancer. And
Perfectly said.
we make decisions together. Everything's even, Steven, equal. So there isn't really a star of this at all. There's definitely a George and a Ringo and now I can't name the Beatles. I've had a couple of drinks. Paul.
Ringo, Paul,
But,
John. Yep.
their dance critics recognize all of them. But when you come to see us at the Joyce, which, by the way, it's selling really well, and I'm not.
Yes, it is.
I'm not saying this to
No. It is. It
get
is.
in there. It's a small. We'll be dancing this summer in 3,000 seat theaters in Tokyo. This is 500 seats. It's like a very exclusive little experience there at the Joyce Theater. But I was going to say that they are all unequal. I don't know where I was going with that.
No. You're saying that everybody is equal. The principle was the wording that was sent to us, but I love the fact that you're saying that as the founder, and because that's beautiful. I mean, are you hiring or the fact that you're so?
Because Chelsea would be uncomfortable.
Fantastic.
She doesn't like that kind of attention. She's one of the quickest, smartest, and
I love that.
But
exactly.
They are, we're a company that looks like the audience that we are performing for, and we are just
terrific,
truthful about the way the world really works, or the way it should work. So nobody's precious. There's no stars. There's no egos.
That's beautiful.
And if you have an ego, you're gone. And I can tell you,
check that out the door.
Yeah, New York's fiddle player, Jake James. When I started calling, these people, the Jonies and the Eileens and the Lizzes, the iconic fiddle players. I need a young fiddle player that doesn't have an ego, that's incredible fiddle player. I want who Jake James's name kept coming up because he's a prodigy, but he has zero ego. That's who we look for. We look for people that under promise, over deliver, reasonable people that want to elevate and change the world,
Exactly.
So, anyway.
I would imagine Chelsea seconds that emotion.
Yes, I mean, the quickest emotion of what I feel to be a part of this is grateful. It really kind of blows my mind to think about being a child Irish dancing. It's always been my safe place. And I didn't know, I couldn't have imagined that it could carry me into so many different directions, both on the dance floor and off the dance floor. And the people that this company brings together, whether that's the artists or, as I said, the tech crews, the audience members, it's really incredible. And I'm just grateful, and I'm kind of at a loss for words.
Well, I like what you just said. I like what you just said about this is a place that makes you feel safe. Can you elaborate on that?
I said, Irish dance has always been my safe place. So dancing is really, as a child, anyone who grows up Irish dancing cannot deny that it makes you feel powerful when you put on those hard shoes. It was always my rock. So I did not know that there was a place that would allow me to continue doing that, but also to afford the opportunity to other dancers, and also to embed myself inside of the creative process. It kind of this company uniquely ties together all of my passions, all of my skills that, of course, are dancing, but as Mark said, visual art, community outreach. There's so many things that I love that have been tied together into a company that I didn't know could be my future when I was a little kid. So I'm just very grateful, and to be headed into the Joyce Theater this week, the best performing arts dance stage in the country for sure, maybe the world. It's where everyone looks to see what's going on in the dance world is really exciting.
Another fun thing too, I just want you to know that like these New York Irish dance schools are amongst the best in the world. I mean, you know, as I grew up in Chicago, New York was the place. This is where, you know, all the best dancers were and still are today. And children from local Irish dance schools, there would be 2 or 3 of them on stage for, you know, 20, 30 seconds at a really key moment in the show. But we've invited children from local Irish dance schools here to get up on stage with us, which is one of our favorite things to do, to, you know, make impact with them. And like it did, obviously, Chesley, as a kid, you saw the company. So I just want folks to know that you'll see some little peanuts up there smiling.
That's cool. That's cool. You know how important, well, you know, I don't even say you know how, that is so extraordinary for them, for their family, for their parents to have that opportunity. I mean, you're giving opportunities to these kids who it's a major step for them in their lives. And especially now, I mean, I don't want to go into that other direction, but we're coming out of in a positive way. We're coming out of a pandemic where we've all had masks on for our own health and wellness. The world stopped, everything was closed. You guys experienced not being able to perform, to get on stage, to connect and emote and do what you do so well. Kids saw everybody wearing a mask, which we've needed to do to be healthy and to protect one another. There's so much that's happening now in a beautiful, positive way. And to be able to go to the Joyce Theater and other places you guys are going on the tour, and to bring the kids and to bring the family and to bring the grandparents and everybody, and just to get back and relax and watch the expertise of incredible talents like yourself, visionaries like yourself, is extraordinary. And to have the opportunity to bring in these kids who are going to be a part of this, you're giving them, you know, lifelong memories that they will always, you're paying it forward, lifelong memories that they will always cherish and their families will always cherish. And that's needed now more than ever. How have you guys gotten through the last 2 years? And tell us a little bit about some of the teachable moments, perhaps, that you've learned. Here you are, you've been doing your thing for a long time. We all have. And then the world sort of paused. We got to reboot, refresh, look within, bake bread, connect with the family, reflect on our lives, see where we want to go forward. We've talked a lot about that on the show. I keep saying that, you know, the only people that could have crafted what we've experienced the last 2 years are Steven Spielberg, Stephen King, Rod Serling from the Twilight Zone, or George Lucas. It's been so crazy. But I've been also saying that I hope we rise out of all this. There's been such an appreciation for the arts because the arts was paused, and music and connection. And here you are bringing it full force, resurrecting it, you know, getting the fires burning again. How have you been through it all, and how have you stayed connected, collaborative, and creative during all of this crazy time we've all experienced individually and globally?
I think the great thing is that live dance, live performance of any kind, but specifically dance that hinges on very nuanced movements and energy between people, is very pandemic proof. So while it was a very challenging 2 years to not be able to do that, there's a hunger for it more now than ever from audiences and from the people on stage. So we were able to stay connected virtually, but I won't pretend that that really made up for it. It was a challenging 2 years, and the world needs the arts, needs live dance, needs to see people interacting together. I think one thing that that I've noticed is that no matter who you are, everyone's in kind of a fragile state right now. It's been a hard time, and dance is one of the most powerful healers, and the Trinity Irish Dance Company definitely is a healing thing to experience.
I would add to that I think that human beings are wired to want to be together, and not being together has been very difficult for everybody. And we've seen, like world leaders lie to us. We've experienced, people getting sensitive and, like be less kind to each other. So, I mean, the takeaway is really, don't worry about owning a 3,000 square foot house. Just pay off a 1,000 square foot house. Grow your vegetable garden. Keep your friends smaller. People are going to disappoint you, and through the backdrop of all the crazy things going on in the world, drink some wine, be with your friends. Don't worry about politics all the time. Don't miss the most important moments, the little moments. And for me, the little moments are the biggest moments. So what am I proud of? When a single mother comes up to me after a performance recently and says, crying, I've been trying to teach my little girl about how powerful women can be and what their true role is in society. And you helped me accomplish that with her, as a 6-year-old in one evening of performance. I mean, I don't know what to do with information like that. I could die tomorrow. I would do all this just for that one mom to be able to have that moment with her kid, and I'm just very proud of the human beings that are on stage with the Trinity Irish Dance Company. They're experts at what they do. They're a breath of fresh air for sure. And nobody doesn't like the Trinity Irish Dance Company, from 8-year-olds to 88-year-olds. I sound like I'm trying to sell tickets. I'm really
No,
not.
no, no. You're speaking from your heart. You're speaking from your
I
heart.
don't want people to miss the opportunity, because it's been 20 years since the Trinity Irish Dance Company has been at the Joyce Theater. We did this 3 times back in the day. I took a decade off. This is a re-energized company, all new work. You know what I mean? It's like, I choreograph what I would want to go see, and I commission, or the board commissions people to do things that I would want to see.
Yes.
I am very proud of it, and I hope that you, Jim, are you going to come down? Maybe
Yes.
7 shows.
Yes, absolutely. I tell you, what I love about this is, we're getting a chance to learn more about you guys. And when people do go see the shows, they're going to have a deeper appreciation of why you do what you do, how much you love what you do, and the entire team, everybody that is a part of the entire company, because it takes a village, the crew, the technical, the lighting, everybody. A lot of the folks that we're not seeing on this show right now, who add greatly to the entire production. It's very important. It's very valuable. And so when now they go, they're learning about you, they're learning about Chesley, they're learning about everybody involved in a way that goes deeper than just the periphery. And it's so fantastic, because you've been circling back to that, about how the periphery seems to be what's always out there. But when you get beyond that and you go a little bit deeper and more authentic, that's what life is all about. This pandemic situation sort of reminded us of that. You get caught up with keeping up with the Kardashians and all this other stuff, which I don't do. But, and then, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Not really. Do what's authentic, do what speaks to your heart. Go out, drink some wine, like you said, go see a great show like you guys, spend time, call your mother, whatever. Life is short, life is precious. And if you can see extraordinary entertainment like what you guys work so darn hard to provide, it may look easy to those who are consuming it, but I know that it takes a lot of time and attention and blood, sweat, and tears to pull it off, and a lot of hours of training and just all of that. And it's extraordinary to be able to celebrate it in the way that you guys do.
Well, you've said it very well there. Our advice would just be, like, I think we've all learned on the back end of this pandemic, go experience real things. I mean, really, Netflix got me through a lot of the pandemic, but it's not real. I mean, tonight, as soon as we hang up this computer, close this computer, we're going to run over to the Scratcher, which our lead singer for years worked at that pub. Right now, they have a thing called the Scratcher Sessions. They have it every Sunday, at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. And, whoever that artist is that we're going to watch is far more fascinating in terms of their personal journey and how much they love this in a tiny space like that. Why would somebody not go see that as opposed to somebody that they think is famous or, the Kardashians or whatever? It's like we're all just like lemmings being fed things through marketing as opposed to seeking out real experiences, tangible things. Yeah. So I think that's the big lesson from, the emptiness. We fill our lives with junk to make ourselves feel better, but it really comes down to the handful of friends. You know what I mean? Stop, put the phone away, have a real conversation, laugh, love, and help your neighbor.
Exactly. So the Joyce Theater coming up this week, St. Patrick's Week, Erin Gobra. What can people expect if they get the tickets and they come to you, whether they're in the New York City area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, what have you, or they fly in from somewhere, or they take that Amtrak train or Metro North, what have you? What can they expect when they come to see you guys, whether it's the Joyce Theater or the other performances throughout America?
At the Joyce Theater, people will see 9 different dance pieces. We have a live band, 4 musicians, 2 of which we've mentioned on this interview today. All of these different dance pieces are rooted in Irish step dance, pushing the boundaries in different ways. There are 3 New York premieres. One of those is by Michelle Dorrance and Melinda Sullivan, who are 2 tap choreographers. So that piece, American Traffic, finds the intersection between tap dance and Irish dance and gives birth to a new percussive language. Another one of those premieres is on Sorcus, or The Circus, co-choreographed by Mark and myself. And the third is called Sparks. Our fiddle player, Jake James, and Allie Dowdy, who you saw earlier on sitting next to me, who won the world championships. They blend their gifts of fiddle and really super intricate footwork. So those are just 3 of the pieces. You'll see a lot of classic works or more recent classic works by Mark, but the evening itself is a 90-minute performance, including a 20-minute intermission. It will make you excited. It will make you feel empowered. It will make you feel joyful. And we hope that you will feel connected, because we definitely feel connected to the audiences that come into the door.
For New Yorkers, I think it's going to feel like I just found this cute little Italian restaurant that nobody knows about, that I can't believe nobody knows about.
I love that. Before we go, we're going to show Communion, and then we'll come back for our wrap up. But really fantastic spending time with you. As you see, we like to spend time. We like to celebrate. We like to go a little bit deeper. And like I said, Carson, Cavett, Regis, some of the others with a modern flair and modern vibe of today. It's my style and the work I do in television and radio. And it's really, I'm loving this conversation. I feel like I'm sitting across the table, and our viewers have been saying that too. We feel like we're sitting across the table from the 2 of you, just having not an interview. We don't call these interviews, a conversation. And conversations are essential, and conversations bring out, I mean, you guys have no idea what questions I was going to ask. We didn't talk about questions. I have no script. I have no pre-prepared questions. I'm not reading a teleprompter. It's just conversational. We're celebrating the extraordinary work of this incredible company, Trinity Irish Dance Company. Gang, I am Jim Masters, Mark Howard, Chelsea Hoyer here. We're going to wrap up soon. But first, here's Communion, and then we'll be back. Absolutely incredible, gang. Just want to show you Sherry Larson in Kansas, USA says, thank you for being here tonight. Love what you're doing. Not only the fantastic dance, but the empowerment of women. Have a fantastic week. Nikki on the West Coast says, gee, one time I sure wish I wasn't, she wouldn't mind being closer to the East Coast. I will, but you're traveling all across the country too. I will so enjoy watching the entire episode. And she says, thank you very much. These are some of the viewers watching around the world. And Wozniak in Florida says, this evening has been awesome. Thank you for sharing this amazing style of Irish dance. Merlin in Ontario, Canada. Wow. The precision is awesome. Maureen says, absolutely incredible. You must be proud of these kids. I'm so impressed. They're learning such skills, but life lessons on top of that. That's Maureen in Arizona, USA. Jen Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hearts. Kathleen in New York City says, wow, that is awesome. Sherry Larson says, wowza, I am speechless. Hearts from Nikki. Merlin has hearts here as well, and Wozniak hearts. Maureen says, my mind is blown. And Jane watching in Sweden. Don't know if you guys get to Sweden, but an absolutely great show. Have them back. They want you guys back with more dance for us, Jim. So interesting. Warm people. Thank you for being here. And thank you as well. You're amazing. And I just wanted to thank you for all the time. I know you just landed from Chicago. You're there at a French restaurant with the troupe. You're having dinner. But the fact that you took the time in this tight window that you had with a show starting in 2 days from now to spend time with us here on the Jim Master Show Live, I am honored by it. And I'm absolutely thankful for it as well. Got a chance to learn about the company, which I was very familiar with before this, and learn about it more deeply. And our audience around the world got an opportunity to appreciate it and learn about it deeply, and about your individual as well as collective passions as well. So it was extraordinary having you on the show. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with all of you.
Thank you so much.
I think it was very fitting that you ended with that piece too, because that's Chesley Hoy in the center of that dance as it ends. And we were talking about Chesley maybe being a principal dancer. She is very much the heart of the company and at the center of that piece. And what I was saying, sometimes people cry. At the last performance you did, you said that dancers were crying in that last moment as she was moving around. Dancers were crying because of what you've been talking about, Jim, the pandemic and the joy to finally get back on stage and to share an energy with an audience, in a gathering of sorts, to celebrate life and music. So thank you for having us.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. I have to ask this before we go, because I've asked this of many folks who've come in, with the Irish flavor and flair. What do you think it is about the Irish, the arts, the food, the culture, the music, the dance that resonates so much, so deeply? I mean, we have Irish in us, yes, that's a given, but for those even who aren't Irish, who gravitate to all of this, what is it about the Irish culture and the music, the arts, the dance, the food, all of it, you think that really resonates so deeply with everybody?
Well, a lot of the Irish traditions are born out of adversity in the same way that a lot of African American traditions are born out of adversity. So I referred to the blues earlier. It's the Irish, and I'm stereotyping, and part of this is also my hope for what I hope the Irish still are, because at times, sorry to say, I can get disappointed in my clan. But, the Irish, there's people in this world that build things and those that tear them down. And generally the Irish are builders, and there are people that can get behind a cause and others that will naysay. I believe that Irish folks are believers, and they have your back, whether it's in a bar fight or a global fight. So sorry about the fire trucks. But a lot of the Irish go into that kind of thing, right? To help others, to defend. And
they were giving you a thumbs up with that. They were tooting the horn.
I'm proud of the strength that came out of my Irish-born father, and the sense of humor. And
the sense of humor is really something special.
Yeah, but yes. the willingness to be kind and to share. And
yes.
Ireland is a very forward-looking country. It's a country that really has their finger on the pulse of what's next in this world, yes. Just like young people like yes. Chesley. And I'm sorry to say, I'll get in trouble with some Irish Americans out there, but a lot of us need to catch up with the progressiveness of our homeland. So I was blessed with a good education, a Jesuit education that my parents, that really had no money whatsoever, afforded me, and that taught me reason, and it taught me common sense and empathy. And that's what I'd like to see more of from everybody, and to cut the BS, because we all know what's right and wrong, and we all know what's selfish and what's giving. And so I want to get back to being as proud of the Irish as I was growing up.
Beautifully
The world
said.
needs the Irish to step up and do what's right.
And Chelsea, any final words about, and both of you, our conversation, our show, or anything that we've experienced here as you get ready to embark upon your brilliant and wonderful concert events coming up there in New York City?
I don't think so. Thank you so much for having us. And if you are in the audience, any of you listening this week, the dancers will come to the lobby and out front after the performance to thank the audience and say hello. So definitely say hello if you were there.
I want to say one other thing too. Come out and see the Trinity Dance Company. Opening night is Tuesday, but we'll go all the way through Sunday. There's a matinee on Sunday, but opening night for Paradise Square is Tuesday night. Also, we were fortunate enough to see that in Chicago. One of our former company members, Garrett Coleman, is front and center in that production. We love Bill T. Jones, one of the greatest treasures in American dance that choreographed it or co-choreographed it with those fellas. So we're very proud of Larry Kerwin and Paradise Square and American Traffic, truth be known, the piece that we're doing that Michelle Dorrance choreographed, you know, it also touches on that period of cross-pollination between the Irish and African Americans. So everybody, up Ukraine, peace, love.
Absolutely, yes. I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you guys. It was really an honor and a pleasure to spend this time with both of you.
You're doing a great, Jim. Jim, you're doing a great job. And the only difference between you and really Carson and those other shows is that she had to take a potty break in the middle of it. Well, thank God you played communion.
She was winking her eye a little bit, which that was the cue. So I said, let's go to the communion, and then you guys can do what you need to do and come back. I just wanted to show you, we always have somebody special here that pops on towards the end. Mr. George Burns is with us here. And he just wanted to say you guys knocked it out of the park. And one of my aunts, my mother's the youngest of 16, and one of her aunts collected dolls. And when he turned 100, she collected the collectible George Burns doll with his cigar and his hanky. He just wanted to say you guys were extraordinary tonight. And thanks for all the time spent with us.
Thank you.
Well, Chelsea Hoy is twice as smart as me, but I just want to put her on the spot here. You do not know who George Burns is.
Sure she does.
She does
George
not.
Burns, Gracie Allen.
How would you know that?
I don't know.
She doesn't know. Who's George Burns? I know who George Burns is.
Legendary comedian, television. He played God in the movies. Yes. She's going to Google him. She will know. She will know. You guys are the
know
best.
Who Johnny Carson is.
That's
so like
not
she does
true.
really doesn't know who George Burns is.
Well, I tell you, thanks, gang, for being with us. And we've got some, you guys are just the best. These are from Lois Greenfield. Some spectacular photos just to show some of the artistry of what you do. Lois is a great photographer too. And this one is from Todd Rosenberg. Thanks for the time. We don't always go this long, but I just wanted to really connect with you guys. Sometimes we do a half hour, whatever, however long the guests have. We don't put a clock on it because it's warm, it's conversational. Sort of Dick Cavett, who used to do these longer conversations. We welcome you back. We're going to keep the porch light on open for you. You can come back, update us on what you're doing. I'd love to hear from you guys again. I would love to stay connected with you. And I really thank you for coming into our world and blessing us with the conversation, but also giving us a little bit deeper appreciation for what you do and how you do it. I think it was absolutely extraordinary. And best of luck, blessings and joys continued for you both and the entire company, and much success with the upcoming New York City performance on St. Patrick's Day week. Can't get any better than that, huh?
That's right. Thank you
That's
so
it.
much.
You are very welcome. Thanks for being with us. It was really a pleasure and an honor. You guys take care, sláinte, and cheers, okay?
Be well.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Now go pay the bill. Wasn't that cool? You guys have a good time with us here on the Jim Master Show Live. Really a pleasure, and we thank them for joining us, and we thank you guys for joining us as well here on the Jim Master Show Live. All right. Comments coming in here. Incredible. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. We just want to show you something. We showed this a little bit earlier. Actually, we have some more music for you, so don't go anywhere. We have more samples of their work. But I do want to show you that this is the website to go to, Joyce.org. That is for the Joyce Theater in New York City, where you can get your tickets if you are in the New York tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Maybe you're coming up from Pennsylvania or other, Vermont, New Hampshire, wherever you are, Rhode Island. If you want to go to see them in New York City, go to www.joyce.org. That is for the Joyce Theater. And the Joyce Theater itself is a really beautiful place. It really is a beautiful theater in the heart of New York City. So that's where they are. But of course, you can also check them out, the Trinity Irish Dance Company, to learn more about them by going online as well. We thank our very special new friends of the Jim Masters Show Live, Mark Howard, founder, artistic director, choreographer, and as well, Chesley Hoy, associate artistic director, co-choreographer and dancer at the Trinity Irish Dance Company, and the gang that was also across from the table, who, if you joined us late, you've got to watch this in the archives because they spun the camera around. So, and then they showed the rest of some of the company. They literally, I just want to stress this, they literally just landed at LaGuardia Airport in New York City, LaGuardia. That was, of course, named after the mayor, Mayor Fiorello de LaGuardia. Just a little tidbit there if you didn't know. Got in the limos, the cars, the vans, what have you. They're at a French restaurant having dinner. They just landed from Chicago. And the very first thing that they did was they joined us here for all of you on the Jim Masters Show Live. That's right. I think that's incredible, don't you? I mean, they have a major week of very intense special concerts coming up this week in New York City on St. Patrick's Week. And they made sure they took time to join us, me and all of you, on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. How do I know? Because I've been working with their PR people. And of course, thank Anita Daly, beautifully, a dear friend of mine, and everybody else. And we've been working on this episode for a long time. We wanted to do it right around St. Patrick's Day week. And I can tell you that the fact that they were able to spend this amount of time with us, initially it was going to be a half hour, then 45 minutes. And we put it all together for all of you so we can celebrate what they do and, the extraordinary work that they put into what is a brilliant dance company. And you don't have to be Irish to enjoy what they do as well. So we thank everybody personally from me, host, executive producer of the Jim Masters Show Live. We thank everybody who made this night possible. They were there live having dinner with the group, just landed from Chicago to New York City, got in the vehicles, got right to that restaurant, positioned themselves. There's a lot involved when you do these shows, not just on our end, but the guests' end too. They had to make sure they had Wi-Fi signal. I mean, there they are in the East Village there in New York City, in Manhattan. They had to make sure they had Wi-Fi signals. They weren't in a dark spot. They had to make sure that, they can connect to us and sign in and do all the things that they have to do. And there they were. So I just want to personally thank them for the amount of time spent. And I want to thank you as well. You guys were really on fire tonight with your comments. There's some these photos are courtesy of Lois Greenfield. This is just some imagery of this extraordinary company. As you can see, gang, if you join us for the very first time, we go beyond just a typical interview. We don't just talk about what's the movie, tell us about your show, tell us about your new CD, and that's it. We like to spend time with all of you, and we like to spend time with our guests. And, usually in the beginning, when a guest comes on for the first time, sometimes we go a little longer. And then when they come the next time, the time after, maybe it's a little bit shorter because you have already been introduced to who they are and what they do. The very first time, sometimes we go just a little bit longer because we really want to have good, real, solid conversations. As Mark said, Mark Howard, the founder of the Trinity Irish Dance Company, there's a lot of fluffery out there. There's a lot of, hey, look at me. Even a lot of hosts and interviewers and people out there that are more concerned about you looking at them than what it is they're providing as far as content and a feeling and a vibe. I've never been about that. I've always been about, hey, sure, I'm here and I work hard and I do what I do as a host, executive producer, journalist, writer, stage MC, voiceover artist, actor, all these things I've done. But if I can connect with all of you and I can find a way to reach you and relate to you through what we're doing here, as well as my professional work on television, stage, and film and radio, that's why I do what I do. And it's obvious Mark has circled back several times with us about that, why he created the Trinity Irish Dance Company in Chicago and tours around the world, and the Irish American Dance Company. And he does it out of the love of the work. And that's why I do what I do. So everything that happens after with the notoriety, the fame, whatever, is all the icing on the cake. The fame, the dollars and cents isn't what motivates me to do what I do. I've been doing this a long time, professionally, internationally, and nationally, and locally and regionally, all the other stuff. It isn't what drives me. Sure, it's the icing on the cake. But what drives me is relating to people, inspiring people, lifting people up, connecting with people, bringing spectacular guests on this very special series that we created 600 plus episodes ago, and relating to and connecting with all of you. As many of you know, I have very busy full-time days in my industry and my career, full-blown, full-out days, 6 a.m. till sometimes late at night in television and radio. But I show up here, I turn the lights on, and we connect and we relate. And we have created such a beautiful community around the world where, as I've said multiple times, kindness matters. We have a lot of laughs. Sometimes the technology doesn't always go according to plan. Sometimes the guest's Wi-Fi conks out on them. Sometimes our Wi-Fi conks out on us. Rare, but sometimes that happens. So we're here, wherever you're watching, not just in the United States, which is our home base, and our neighbors, our beautiful neighbors in Canada and Mexico to the north and south, but wherever you're watching this around the world, in Ireland, in the UK, in France, in Sweden, in Finland, Norway, Germany, South Africa, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, all over, Greece, Italy, Switzerland, Austria. We've heard from just about everywhere. And we actually heard from Iceland. We're still waiting for the Antarctica crowd and the Arctic Circle. So if you have some relatives, Arctic Circle, Antarctica, ring them up and tell them about our series. But I just wanted to thank you guys. It's just really amazing. So many have asked, are we going to do this series just during the pandemic? And with the schedule that I have, I could have just done it during the pandemic. But I've actually fallen in love with what this series has become. You guys are lovely regulars and new people who are always discovering this series. You're always so expressive, so heartfelt in telling me what this series and what this show means to you through emails. And we have a couple of assistants who are helping us with that, because I get about 150 emails a day now with this show alone. And then with my career in television, radio, station, film, probably about 400 emails a day. So I'm trying to sift through it all. But you guys have been so brilliant about connecting and expressing what this show means to you. And I tell you, I'm not somebody who just takes that lightly. I really think that what we've created here, you know, I'm stoked. It excites me. We just spent, 2 hours plus with the founder and artistic creator of artistic director and creator, choreographer, as well as associate artistic director and choreographer, dancer. We won't say principal dancer, just dancer, dancer extraordinaire, Chelsea Hoy, on this show while they were at a restaurant in the East Village of New York City, and they just came off a plane. I tell you, that doesn't necessarily happen everywhere. And especially on this format, what we're trying to do, I have to let you know, is not necessarily very easy. And the reason why I say that, as my hair does whatever it wants. Last night we had it pulled. We're doing a lot of different things with the hair. One day, maybe you'll tune in, it'll be short. On a platform like YouTube, what we're doing is very, very difficult because on YouTube, a lot of it is quick hit. A lot of it is just like a 2-minute video or just something that's just, that's it. And we're spending time, we're connecting, we're inspiring, we're entertaining, we're relating, we're empowering, we're doing whatever you're getting out of it. And on this platform, it's not so easy. I'm used to, of course, television and radio where we would spend time on the air with our guests or with topics. So this isn't always as easy to do what we're trying to do. And I have to tell you this, it's just not as easy to do this on this platform. But it seems as though we're cutting. It's taking longer. It takes longer. So spread the word, share the levity, help us grow, subscribe to the YouTube channel, spread the word. We empower you to do that. But it takes a little longer only because of the format. Because with the internet and with YouTube, it's more about flash, quick, boom, bam, bam. Don't ask me to repeat what I just did because I can't. But you know what I'm talking about. So coming from the traditional broadcast background, coming from television, radio, stage, and film, to be presenting what we're trying to do here on this format where we can reach an international audience is very difficult, is a lot of work, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and tweaking, and fine-tuning, and pivoting, and jockeying. Because we don't just do interviews. We don't just do, hey, we bring it all in together. It's not as easy. But I tell you, it's fantastic. It's spectacular. Because look what has happened. You're here. I'm here. And look what we've created. It's very interactive. We're here with you live right now. Anybody that wants to join us live, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. You'll get all the notifications, the alerts. You'll never miss anything. And you'll be a part of our lovely squad. And the comments that you share with me are very heartfelt and soulful, and they mean a great deal to me. So, like this, Jim, when you started the show, did you have any clue as to how it would grow into such a monster that would unite people from all over the world and make us feel like family? I wasn't sure if that's what would happen, if people would connect, like what I'm doing, connect with me as your host, connect with the guests, connect with the feeling, the format, some of those Lovity shows where it's just you and me, and we're overdue for a Lovity show. But just, I wasn't sure, because when I first started, it was just me talking to the screen and saying, hey, how are you doing? Here's my day. Here's what's going on, and then some of my celebrity friends and guests wanted to pop on the show, and we grew it from there. So I wasn't sure, but I tell you, with all the work and everything that goes into this, I'm blown away. Some of you, like the Sherry Larsons of the world and the Janes and the Marines and others, all of you, I feel like I know you personally and you know me personally. And in a way, we sort of do, even though we could be hundreds of miles away, thousands of miles away. We're here and we're connected in a way that is revolutionary, that's beautiful, that's positive. And when you really think about what we're doing here on the show, no show is the same. Sure, the format's the same. We have our show open and I greet all of you and we welcome you and we have a good time. We get into deep conversations. We have entertainment. There's lots of surprises and cool things. But it's just grown into something that has exceeded my expectations beyond what I initially thought it would be. And because you guys have connected with it. And others who watch, who don't say a word, they don't comment live in chat. They just watch. And somehow they're connected. I mean, I see some of the comments on our YouTube channel, and I encourage you to leave comments on our YouTube channel. And some of the beautiful comments that people say about episodes of our series that we did a year ago, and they're just discovering it now. Maybe they're a fan of the guest, but then they fall in love with our show because of how the guest was treated with respect and kindness and honor and celebration, but also how we acknowledge our viewers. I could have all these guests on. I could have shows where it's lovity shows and foodie shows and on location shows and all the things we've done. But without you guys watching and chatting and commenting live during the live shows or commenting afterwards on our YouTube channel, sending me tweets and Instagram messages and emails and Facebook messages. And you can find me at Jim Masters TV on all of those platforms. But just expressing to me how much what we've created here, this body of creativity, the production, which we've tweaked, and hopefully you enjoy everything we've done and notice some of the tweaks that we have made to our series along the way. If you watch some of the first episodes, I mean, it's cool. It's good stuff, but we've really advanced, technologically and production quality and everything else. It's been really extraordinary. And I just have to thank you guys so much for everything you've said, everything you do. I know some of you are very, very proactive. I have to say, Sherry Larson is one of the most incredible. Every single episode of our series, she shares the links on her Facebook, Twitter, Instagram pages. Doesn't matter the guest, doesn't matter the topic. Every single episode of this series, sometimes even before we promote it, she's on it. She is the breadbasket best. You know what that means? The breadbasket is sort of the middle of the United States where a lot of the, food comes from, and the wheat and, the breadbasket. She's right there in the center, and she spreads the levity on her Instagram and her Twitter and her Facebook constantly, every single episode. And we've noticed that. She says, I feel so blessed by you, Jim. I have a new sisterhood of fabulous ladies I would never have had without you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you as well, Sherry. It means a great deal to me. And all of you who do share the links. It's very important. A couple of things, just so you know how things work with YouTube. When you click like on this episode, when you leave a comment on this episode, YouTube, not just we like it, YouTube loves it. Because then they see that and they take the episode and they blast it out even further. So more people around the world get a chance to experience what you enjoy. The levity, the explosion of extraordinary guests, these incredible conversations, which you don't really see a lot of them anymore. You don't see a lot of conversations like these, where we take time, where we don't rush through it, where we honor our viewers, where we interact with our viewers, where we bring our viewers into the action, where we're always responsive to what you want. Thank you, Kathleen. I met the most amazing people through this gift/show. My friends, love them all. Thank you, Kathleen, in New York City. It just really means so much to me. Thank you as well, Merlin. Merlin is here all the time. Merlin is another treasured JMS Lovity. All of you who are here. Nikki is one of our newest, and she's here all the time now. She stumbled on us. Here she is all the time. I think it's cool. It's like we're all friends, and we are. We're family, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So just a little diversion there, because sometimes with the busyness of life, and my schedule is so extraordinarily busy with I host about 3 other shows on television and radio professionally, in addition to this series we do. So my schedule has become really busy, but I'm always here for you, and you guys are always here for us, and I think that's so beautiful. So if you haven't subscribed, that really does help us. We would absolutely love it. And we always laugh. We always have a good time here on the show. I just want to let you know, I've got some more material to show you before we go from the Trinity Irish Dance Company. This has been a spectacular show. Really, really cool. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, you'll see a red button there. There's no cost. Just hit subscribe. Tell your friends. Click the notification bell, gang, so you never miss. When you click that little notification bell icon, it looks like a little bell. When you click that bell, you know what happens? You get alerts, notifications from us every time we have an episode, so you never miss the episodes. And again, if you enjoyed what we did tonight, or what we've done on any of the episodes, because there's a lot of people that are going back. We've noticed a huge trend of people discovering the other 600 plus episodes we've done of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. And we're always seeing all these views and all these comments. And we love that. We thank you very much, because we archive all the episodes. Give the episodes you enjoy a hearty like, and leave a comment for us on the YouTube channel as well. That would be spectacular. And that helps us big time as well. Want to show you another great video that we have from the Trinity Irish Dance Company. We appreciate, again, them joining us here tonight. Just 2 members, the founder and, of course, co-artistic director, Mark, as well as Chesley. And again, I'm just so blown away that they took the time to join us when they just literally got off a plane from Chicago to New York City, and they rushed to the restaurant, set themselves up so they can join us here tonight. I just think that's going the extra mile, and that's what they did tonight, and that's what we do all the time here on the Jim Masters Show Live. One more reminder, again, if you would like to get tickets to see them at the incomparable, legendary Joyce Theater, which is known for dance and so much more, you can go to www.joyce.org. The Joyce Theater, you can Google it as well, and look for the performances coming up from March 15th through the 20th with the Trinity Irish Dance Company. Again, if you didn't see this earlier, we do have this very special video here, and then we're going to show one more before we wrap up the episode of our series. But we have another video we want to share with all of you here on the program. First, if you didn't see this earlier, this again just shows you what's coming up at the Joyce Theater in New York City. And then we have another video we'll show you, and then we'll chat a little bit more before we wrap up. Here's this video celebrating their performances coming up at the Joyce Theater. And again, joyce.org is where you can go to get the tickets. Here's some more. We didn't show this earlier. This is brand new. Here's some more of the extraordinary Trinity Irish Dance Company. And I'm so excited we're doing this, during this St. Pat. This is the build up to St. Patrick's Day, and you don't have to be Irish to enjoy St. Patrick's Day. At this point, with pandemics and war and all the other stuff that we have experienced the last couple of years, gang, let's tap those toes and just have some good times together. We have all earned it and we all deserve it. Here's some more of the Trinity Irish Dance Company for your viewing pleasure on the Jim Masters Show Live. Pretty cool, pretty incredible, huh? We wanted to surprise you just with some bonus encore footage there of the extraordinary Trinity Irish Dance Company exclusively here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Take a look at a couple of comments before we head out and have some vanilla ice cream. Well, actually, it's frozen vanilla yogurt we have that we're going to be having after this conversation. Kathleen Walker in New York City, who celebrates her Irish heritage as well. And again, you don't have to be Irish to enjoy Irish culture and music and so much more. I think it's really cool. Mark Howard said that he has a family connection to Yorkshire, England. As I mentioned, the Masters side of the family, my dad's side of the family, his father's side comes from Yorkshire, England, and his mother's side comes from Ireland. And then my mother, as I mentioned multiple times, probably English, Swedish, and French. And there might even be a little Scottish, Dutch, and Finnish in there too. I have a cousin who is doing some real digging. You know, if you do your DNA, we are all connected. We are all related. And if we remember that, maybe our world would be a kinder, more gentler, empathetic place. We could only hope. Kathleen Walker in New York City says, you really are the best, Jim. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that, my friend. Nikki, we're so happy to know you as part of the squad. Glad you found Lovely Hall. I just want to show that one. The reason why is, as much as I rave about our viewers, our Lovities, and the guests, the viewers, the guests, and the Lovities, especially the Lovities, you guys are so kind to one another. So I sort of turned the lights on, created the show, and then out of this experience, you guys have made wonderful friendships, And it all circles back to the Jim Masters show, which you guys have told me about. If it wasn't for the show and all of that, I appreciate those kind words. But it's so beautiful that so much levity internationally, too, has been created from what we are doing here. And this is cool. I've been doing this work professionally for a long time, and I'm just blown away by the fact that you guys are resonating with it. Sherry Larson says, Jim, you're making my eyes leak. That means you're a very special person, Sherry Larson, which you are. I wish all of you a lovely evening. Nikki on the West Coast, representing the West Coast tonight. You guys are the best. I mean, you've been sticking with us through thick and thin. And we realize some people come and go, not everybody. We have people that watched us in the very beginning who just fell off a cliff. And then we have a lot of new people who find us. And a lot of you have been with us since the very beginning. And we thank you so very, very much. It really means a lot. That's right. Hey, gang, just so you know, the clocks went ahead here in the United States last night. And I forgot about that. So when I woke up, I thought it was an hour earlier. Just so you know, you guys know that I've been saying I haven't had a lot of sleep because I've been working so hard. And then I created this show, and it's just been really incredible. I got about 11 solid hours of sleep last night. Even though the clock went to daylight savings time, it went an hour ahead. I got a good solid 11 hours of sleep. I haven't had 11 hours of sleep in 3 years solidly. It felt good. Good way to spend a Sunday evening. Merlin in Ontario, Canada, in her pink mauve chair, her armchair there in Ontario. Merlin looks forward to these shows. And I appreciate that. Merlin is something else. She's a firecracker. She's spunky. Merlin, speaks her mind. She cuts to the chase, but she's also loyal, and she's always there. And to me, that means a lot. I mean, you can come and go, but when you're always there and you're celebrating things that you believe in and you care about, that means a lot. Merlin is always, always here. And Carla, hey, Carla, we've missed you. Where have you been? Although the world is a crazy place lately. Carla is here watching from beautiful South America and Brazil. I've got to get to Brazil. I have never been to Brazil. I've been around the world, many locations, but I have not been to Brazil. Carla, Carla has actually been here for a long time. Carla has been here for a year plus, and she watches. And if she doesn't catch us live, she watches in the archives. Carla, thank you very much for being with us here. I love the claps. I love your spunk, and it's so cool to have you here. Carla watching from South America. Take a look at a couple of more comments. You guys are, as soon as you see a new person jump in or a familiar, Lovity viewer, the comments are incredible. See, like, hi, Carla. I think that's really cool. And that you don't get that with a lot of shows these days. You just don't get this sort of feeling. Nikki. Kathleen says, thank you, Jim, for all you do. This wonderful show. And most of all, for being my amazing friend, always there for me. Kathleen and I have known each other well before the Jim Masters show live started. We've enjoyed a lot of conversations together, a lot of levity together, a lot of sad moments, positive moments, happy moments. She and I were on national television on the Rachel Ray show, which was really a lot of fun. I've done a lot of national television and international television over the years, but when you're on with your friends sitting next to you, like Kathleen, it's just so cool. Carla says, always following and watching you quietly, Jim. You're the best. Thank you, Carla. You continue to tell everybody you know in Brazil everybody you know in Brazil to come join us here at the Jim Master Show Live. And Carla, if you have some folks there that you enjoy following in South America and you would like to see them as guests on our show, let us know. Contact us. Gang, we'll show you this. I know at the end it says Jim Masters Media, and you could write to that email address as well. But here's another email address if you have a guest suggestion. Of course, be sure and give this episode a thumbs up and leave a comment on the YouTube channel. But if you have a guest suggestion, somebody you'd like to see on the show, a celebrity, somebody doing beautiful things in the world, you can send a request or an email to jimmasterstv@gmail.com. And that includes you, Carla, in Brazil. Of course, as you know, we've had guests from Argentina, from literally all around the world. So there is the address. If you have guest inquiries, meaning if you have guests that you think would love to be a part of what we're doing here on the experience we call Lovity Hall or the Jim Master Show Live, feel free to drop our staff a note. I check all the emails too, but the show has become such a monster. We have a couple of people, Kyle Conley and also Susan Reynolds, who's popped on. Maybe you've seen some of their emails to help as well. But I just love here. I'm live. Merlin, I tell you, she is a firecracker, isn't she, Merlin? I tell you. I'm live. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Merlin, in Ontario, Canada. And it is duly noted and appreciated. You are live and alive. And it means the world to us to have all of you here, including Merlin in Ontario. She's representing Canada, our beautiful neighbors to the north, very, very proudly. Thank you very much. Again, I realize that so many of you watch what we do here, and you don't always comment. Maybe you're a little shy, or you just want to enjoy the show. That's perfectly fine. I love that. I don't always comment on things in my world either. And I just, thank you so very, very much for you being here and celebrating with us life and living. Lisa Rodrigo's here. She's a blessed soul. Big fan of the Jim Master Show Live, always celebrating it and always telling people about it. She says, amen. Thank you very much. Cheers to you. Thank you, Merlin. I appreciate that as well. Maureen in Arizona. I just love everything about Lovity Hall, Jim. Once again, my thanks to you and your team for all the time and dedication that is put into making this the best place to be each and every day. I'll take that to the bank, and my bank is right here. Bum, 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 bum. Thank you, Maureen. Lisa Rodrigo. Hi, hearts, hearts, hearts. We got 6 hearts coming in from Lisa Rodrigo in New Jersey. And Carla in South America. You and this lovely squad are invited to come to Brazil. Hey, road trip. Who wants to go to Brazil and spend time with Carla? That would be great, huh? After I realized that our guests from the Trinity Irish Dance Company were actually at a beautiful restaurant there in New York City, I said, ooh, maybe we should have done this show on location. We're going to be doing a lot more. I know I've done on location episodes of the Jim Master Show where we've been in Florida and we've been at SeaWorld and other places. And you can see those episodes on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. They're not as long as our, full-blown Jim Masters Show, entertainment, lifestyle, variety talk show episodes, but they're shorter clips of places where we've traveled, in America and beyond. We've been to Holland and Greece and Italy and elsewhere. But I think we're going to be taking the actual whole show on location. So you might not see all the things you're used to seeing here, like the lighting, we'll have different backgrounds, but we're going to be doing a lot more of that. Now that, we're able to travel more and the pandemic is easing a little bit more. We're going to be taking our beloved series on the road a little bit more for all of you to some very special places. And I love it. So we're invited to Brazil. Carla, you're going to cook for us some wonderful Brazilian dishes. There's a Brazilian restaurant not too far from me here. And in my professional work on television for a lifestyle travel TV series I do on CBS, we went to a Brazilian restaurant. Wow. The steaks and everything else, so good. I like this. Sherry Larson says, Jim, what Maureen said. We're all meeting at Carla's. Yes. And now Merlin is blushing. Her skin is the color of the chair she's sitting in. Mauve. How do I know? Because Merlin sent a picture of the chair she sits in. Matter of fact, a lot of our lovely viewers sent actual pictures to us of the chairs that they're sitting in while they're watching the Jim Masters Show live. And that is because for the folks that are watching new audience members here, which we welcome, all of you who are new, that is because for the longest time, we had situations where our guests had to get up to plug in their phone or their chargers, or they went to get the kid or the cat or the Oscar or the Emmy or whatever it is, or the book or the CD. So they got up and you would see an empty chair. I'm still here, but you see on the other part of the screen, the guest's chair. So because of that, I said, you know what? We're seeing so many of our guests' chairs. Why don't we have some of our viewers send in photos of the chairs that they're sitting in? And you did. And Merlin in Ontario, Canada, sits in this beautiful sort of Queen Anne armchair in her comfortable surroundings there in Ontario, Canada. I believe it's Maureen that sits in this sort of very leathery, comfortable, plush chair. I'm trying to remember some of the chairs that you guys sit in. But I think it's kind of cool, huh? What host, what professional television, radio, multimedia, internet host ever asks you to send in pictures of the chairs that you're sitting in while you watch their show? Sherry Larson says, I will pass this on to Lucas' mom. Wasn't sure where to send him to. Cool stuff. Sherry. Hearts from Lisa. Maureen says, Jim and my dear lovely family, thank you for being a part of my life and making my world a better place. Sending you all the love and light, lovely hugs, and good night, and may your dreams be sweet. We love that very much, Maureen. Merlin's always looking out for me. She tells me to relax. She follows me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. She sees all the work that I do during the day professionally, and then she sees all the shoots I have and the places I go, and she's always looking out for me. So I appreciate that as well. And now we're going to be back. We're off tomorrow for those of you watching live, so you can go play and have fun amongst yourselves. We're going to be back on Tuesday. I know you may go into Jim Masters Show Live, Lovely Withdrawal. Don't worry. We'll be back on Tuesday. But when we're back in style with Jeremy Stoll. Jeremy Stoll is starring and has been for many years on Broadway. Yes, Phantom of the Opera, Andrew Lloyd Webber's beloved production. I'm talking about the Broadway production. Jeremy is one of the stars of the Phantom of the Opera on Broadway in New York City. And he's going to be here this Tuesday. So we will be back with all of you on Tuesday. I have a television shoot tomorrow that's going to take me out of the area. So I wouldn't be back in time to do one of our episodes of our show, in time by 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. But I'll be back on Tuesday. We'll all be back together on Tuesday on the Jim Masters Show for all of you with Jeremy, who's going to be coming to us live from New York City as he stars and has for a long time as one of the main stars of the Phantom of the Opera on Broadway in New York City. he actually has been, we've been trying, he and I have been working together for a long time behind the scenes to finally get a night that gels for him and gels for us. And believe it or not, he's only available to do it on Tuesday nights because all the other nights he's on stage on Broadway in the Phantom of the Opera. So we made sure that we worked around his schedule as we do for all the guests. We either work around the schedule of the guests or we work around my schedule in television and radio. We try to marry it all together so it works for everybody. And and he's going to be with us on Tuesday. What host knows how to pronounce my name? That's right. You'll always be Maureen Wojciechowicz to us. Wiedepol. Absolutely. And Sherry, you guys are something else. We got to get together, right? We got to get together. We're working on the Lovely Cruise, of course. We're talking about next year and in the summer of 2023. I know I've talked about that in 2021, 2022, but we didn't want to do it when the pandemic was raging. So we want to do it when it's safe and secure and when we can all, come together and certainly do it. So we're going to take a look at a couple more comments and then we will wrap up here. This has been an extended the last 2 nights. Last night was crazy. If you didn't see last night's show, it was spectacular. We had Chris Corman on. He was open, authentic, honest, real, and extraordinary. His dad was Harvey Korman from the Carol Burnett Show, Blazing Saddles with Mel Brooks, and so much more. An extraordinary actor, an extraordinary comedy television icon. His son, Chris, was with us for almost 3 hours. He opened his heart. He told us extraordinary exclusive stories you didn't hear anywhere else. He said in over 15 years of being interviewed, he's never experienced what he experienced last night on the Jim Masters Show live with all of us together. And I am honored by that, and I'm blown away by that. He sent me that note after the show. Now, if you watch that episode, it's a little crazy because something happened where in the middle of the show, the Wi-Fi just went boom, and I had to scramble, and I had to do the rest of the show on the cell phone because the show must go on. You can't just cancel the show or not do the show. If something happens, technically, you scramble, you think fast, which we all have to do, and you find whatever's close by. So the cell phone, thank God, happened to be right here. I said, what are we going to do? Okay, I'll have to quickly sign in, blah, 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 and we continued the show. And it was fantastic. It was 3 hours of extravaganza, an amazing conversation. He was so open and honest about a celebrity, a legend, an icon, Harvey Korman from the Carol Burnett Show, and so many more extraordinary performances. And he was with us. Chris Corman was with us, his son, his beloved son, last night. And it was terrific. So Carla says, instead of going to Bermuda, we should change the route of this cruising to South America. Well, hey, we can do it. Nothing's in stone yet. We say Bermuda because we wanted to do something a little more simple, because this is the first time we're all getting together. I've thought of Europe. I've thought of a lot of places, but if you guys would love to have a cruise that maybe takes us to, our travel agency told us we have to fill at least 25 cabins plus, just 25 cabins. There's thousands of you watching from around the world. We would have to fill about 25 cabins to make it feasible for the cruise line and the travel agency to do the Lovely Cruise. So if we can fill 25 cabins, we're on our way together for a lovely explosion with the Jim Masters Show live on location on a cruise. So, well, think about that. Sherry Larson says, Jane, that's why I'm here. I love that. You guys are great. This is fun. We're doing sort of like a lovely show here, a lovely extra bonus. This is sort of the bonus show. This is not the encore, but it's like the bonus part where we're changing with all of you. Jane in Sweden says, my favorite Irish singer-songwriter as a guest. The second time was all it takes to get me to watch Jim's shows every night. Lovely host, nice guests, and lots of nice new friends. Thanks all. You are very welcome. I appreciate that. Jane, watching in beautiful Sweden. Again, we're partial to Sweden because my mother's side of the family has lots of Swedish in the blood, and also my great-grandmother came from Sweden and settled in Boston, Massachusetts. All right, gang, this has been fun, huh? I mean, I didn't expect to go this long, but I'm having a good time with all of you. Kindness matters, and we are coming to you live. Now, for those of you who will watch this later on, I know we talk a lot to the live audience. I just want to take a minute to thank those of you all as well who watch our series quietly and privately in the replay, in the archives. That's very important to the success of this show, the growth of the show. But it's also important to me because it tells me that somehow, in some way, whatever we're doing here on this show, here coming to you, broadcasting live from the United States of America in the New York City area, between New York and Boston, along the historic southern New England coast, as I always say, something connects with you, something resonates with you, male, female, it doesn't matter your gender, your political views, your religious views, your height, your weight, wherever you live around the world, whatever your beliefs are. It doesn't matter whether you have blue eyes, brown eyes, green eyes, hazel eyes. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how tall you are, what your weight is, any of those things. As long as you join us and you have a good time with what we're doing here on the Jim Master Show Live, that's what matters to me most. It doesn't matter to me, specifics. You could be watching in a hut in a desert somewhere. You could be watching in a penthouse in an urban skyline. You could be watching in Europe, Asia, Australia, United States, Canada, Arctic Circle, Antarctica, wherever. You could be watching this from Mars 10 years, 100 years from now, wherever you're watching from. Welcome to the Jim Master Show Live. It's a blessing to have you here. We thank you for being here. We thank you for sharing the levity, this amount of time with us. We thank you for spreading the word. So many of you say, how can we help? How can we get this show out there? Telling everybody about it, subscribing to the YouTube channel, sharing the episode links on your social media. In normal, everyday conversation, tell your friends and family and colleagues, have you heard about the Jim Master Show Live? Commenting on our YouTube channel, giving thumbs up, all those basic things, supporting us with super chat, super emojis, super stickers in chat during the live shows, supporting us afterwards with a heart icon that says thanks under every episode on our YouTube channel. All those little things add up and mean the world to us. And it gives us the ability to be able to continue to connect with you, entertain, and inspire and empower you however we do it, however it resonates for you. Because everybody gets something different out of what we're doing here on the Jim Master Show Live. Some of you love that I'm here. Thank you. I love that. I love you back. Some of you love the guests and you're a fan of the guests. And hopefully you watch because of the guest. But then you say, you know what? I like what he's doing. I like what that guy's doing. I like the vibe and he appreciates that I'm here. And then you'll want to watch more. You'll want to go back and watch the episodes you may have missed, over 600 of them so far and counting. And you'll want to be here regularly, whether you're here live or you want to watch us later on in the archives. All of that matters. And that's what we're building here at a global level on the Jim Master Show Live. Something that's quite special to me because, again, I've been on television and radio in the United States and have done international work for a long time, and movies and film and other stuff, stage work. So to do this is very, very cool and very special to me as well. So that's that. We always have a lot of laughs too here on the show, and I think that's really, really special. Sherry Larson is still hanging in there from the breadbasket of the United States. Good night, all. This has been a blast. Have a great Monday and Tuesday. Love you all. Sending lots of hugs, my dear friends. Sherry Larson. I got to tell you, Sherry, that's a spectacular profile photo review on your YouTube profile. That's really a great shot of you. You look happy and content. That the profile photo review there, that's a really nice one. That's a winner. That is a blue ribbon winner. All right, gang, we are going to take off, and we love you all, and we thank you all for being with us here on the Jim Master Show Live. Those of you who've been with us this long, it's a pleasure. So that's that. We never say goodbye. I was going to say we do never. We don't ever say goodbye. So instead we say slancha, cheers, aveda zain, shalom, ciao, moi loop, sayonara, aveda zain, and all the rest to all of you. Thanks for being with us. This was really nice. Even having this conversation with all of you. You know, the guests have been here, and now I'm having a chat with our beloved Lovity Squad and our viewers. I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for being here. I say that all the time. And it's really beautiful having you guys here. Carla says, live from Brazil, South America, night Jim, night gang, you as well. You as well. We're going to sleep well tomorrow. Busy day tomorrow. I'll be on location, but we'll sleep well, and we'll be here Tuesday with Jeremy Soule from the Phantom of the Opera. You guys take care of yourselves, all right? You be well, you take care. We love having you here all the time. Don't forget, as we always say, share the lovity, spread the word about our show, and we would love that. If you like what we're doing here, don't keep it a secret. And don't forget to smile. Don't forget to smile. Some rough times. You know, we're living in a time right now that's, I mean, we don't get political on this show, and sometimes we stay away from some of the news, you know, but we're living in times that are unique and tough and painful and different. However, we're here, and whatever we can do, me, Gilligan, George Burns, Lin on the other side, all the rest, Jeannie and Silver the dog, you know, the cast characters. We got to do another show with the cast characters. We haven't seen them in a while. Whatever we can do to inspire you and lift you up and take you away from what you see coming at you, the overwhelm of news and information that can really bring you down. Whatever you're getting from this experience, keep it going, because as long as you're here, I will be here, because I'm as inspired and entertained and having a good time with you as much as you have expressed to me multiple times you are with what we're doing here. So thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. We appreciate you as well, Sherry. And Nikki says, cheers, Jim, and everyone. Sweet dreams. You as well. And this is like the Waltons. You all say goodnight and take care to each other. And I think that's absolutely spectacular. All right, gang. For the 400th time, we will say cheers. Thank you for being with us. Again, anytime you see that, you know we're going to have a good time. One more time, we thank our friends from the Trinity Irish Dance Company. Look at that. How many of you can do that? Do that and send us photos. See if we can jump in the air. Look at that. Amazing, huh? Whew. They have a good time. Precision. Truly precision. The Trinity Irish Dance Company. Celebrated here on the Jim Master Show Live. Don't forget. And there is Mark Howard in the middle there. He was on the show tonight with the incomparable Johnny Carson. on the right and Ed McMahon on the left. I love this photo because you know me, as a television host, these are icons in my world. And Mark Howard, this was taken, believe it or not, this photo, which was provided to us for tonight's show, was taken in 1981. There's Mark Howard, who you saw tonight on our show live. There's the Joyce Theater. And again, we lovingly say, there's their website if you want to get tickets to this show and more. All right. I think we've covered all bases eloquently. We're going to wrap up, and we thank you very much. Jane says, and now you are writing comments to me in Swedish too, Jim. You learn fast. I knew you'd love that. I hope to get to Sweden soon, and I would love to take my mother, who's in Florida. My folks are in Florida. I would love to take Mom to Sweden, and we will come and have dinner with Jane. The reason why is because my mother, my mother's mother, Swedish, English and French on my mother's side, on my mother's father's side, Swedish on my mother's side. So it would be a blessing to take my mother on a trip to Sweden to see the castle where her grandmother came from, who was a princess, and all the other fun stuff. I'll try the leaps, but when Kathleen is in New York City. So this is Kathleen when she's trying to get to the subway quick before the subway doors close. Right, Kathleen? It kind of looks like you a little bit, doesn't it? That's not Kathleen, of course, but we can envision that being Kathleen Walker in New York City, diving for the subway doors in New York City before the doors close. Funny. Cool stuff. Gang, we love you all. Let's wrap. We'll have a good time with all of you on our next episode. We'll be back again on Tuesday. Continue to spread the word. Watch the previous episodes. If you've missed the episode, some of you don't realize some of the guests we've had on. You're newer to the Jim Master Show Live. The guests we've had on since April 2020, hundreds of shows we've done, are quite extraordinary. So check them out. Go back and, binge watch some of the episodes. I think you will love it. I'm just reading these comments. They're so funny. Oh, yes, for sure. LOL. That's Kathleen jumping quickly to the subway before those doors close. Thanks for watching, gang. The Jim Masters Show. We love you all. Be well. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Don't forget one more time to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us some lovity and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And give this episode a like and leave a comment for us as well. You guys take care. Be well. And we'll see you on the next episode. This was a blast. What a weekend of shows. But we're here every day for you. So we'll see you on the next one. Love you all. And cheers.